Good morning, VOD humans. I'm just going to let this sit here for a second while we wait for live humans to show up. In the meantime, I'm going over there. So, I'll be back. Hi. Chat, I have problems. Many problems. One of which is the disastrous state of my when you get one of those things where like some stuff happens. But the chat, you guys know. That's all that needs to be said. The thing that goes under the chair so that it doesn't drag on the carpet. When you have a wheeled desk chair. Anyways, it is definitely needs to be fixed. And instead of fixing it, I'm changing states. That is the that's the reason we're moving. So I'm just gonna abandon it here. Anyways, let's go. Anyone offering over under on the number of times Martian gets asked about gacha mini pets and gambling laws? There you are. Hey, Ben from work. Jeff Frenchikin, thank you so much for the 8 months, my friend. I appreciate you. How are you? Are you looking forward to the new set? Are you looking forward to the new pet? Are you looking forward to me talking about the new set and how high impact it's going to be on Wild? All right, so let me go ahead and start all of these word vomits I'm about to do. Can we get a Fago review when you move to Michigan? What is Fago? Making me look stuff up. Fago. Fago is a brand of soft drinks primarily known for its wide variety of flavors and its Detroit origin. It was founded in 1907 as For Fagenson Brothers Bottling Works and later shortened it to Fago in 1921. Fago is now a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Beverage Corporation. Well, there you go. I now know everything I need to know about Fago. I gotta ask, when you move, will we still have a white wall that faces west? Does it face west? Let's see. The front door is that way. It goes, the street it's parallel to goes that way. I believe Tustin runs north, right? Tustin runs north, right? So I want to figure it out. He's trying to give me the answer. So the door faces south.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, this doesn't face west. Wait. This, if that's north, this does face west. The camera faces west. How would you know that? Like the sun. Anyways. Here. Let me because when it's later in the evening you complain about the sun. Word. I should do something like type. Okay, beginning of set review. Now that we've got all that out of the way, we can talk about some cards. I'm gonna welcome those of you watching on the YouTubes, and those of you not watching on the YouTubes because you're here with me right now. But those of you watching on YouTube, you wouldn't know because you're not here right now, unless you were one of the people who is here right now. So that's going to be the start of my YouTube intro for the set review, which seems like a good idea to me. Anyways, I'm going to review all of these cards with a mind mostly to Wild, but if I think it'll be good in Standard, I'll probably say so. And I'm going to start with the neutrals because they're relevant to every class, so we should bask in their glory before we get into the class cards. And that's my story about that. Starting off with Krog the Crater King. The Caterer. Krog the Caterer. 9 mana, 8/7 beast. At the end of your turn, set the attack and health of all enemy minions to 1. Man, if everything didn't have rush, this would actually be the Giga Nuts, wouldn't it? Like the you play this, it semi-clears one board, and then your opponent does something about it. But like, it's not that bad, actually. I kind of like process this as general filler, but isn't this probably going to be okay in Standard, maybe? Like, the decks that go to 9, I think, could use this. Wild would probably need to cheat this out, and if we're cheating this out, it's not... like, in a deck that would cheat this out, I imagine... you have better targets to cheat out, right? So Probably not much wild play. If I was going to use it, it would probably be in some weird pile deck. And I probably will use it in something at some point because it's funny. It also has Curator synergy, so like if I can't think of a better beast for Arena pile, I'll probably play it. Endbringer Umbra, we've played with this, or actually I haven't. I lost all inspiration to do anything with this. I think if this was going to do something wild, it would have done it by now. There isn't anything too exciting, I don't think, but maybe as we go through, we'll think of something else. City Chief Esho, 6 mana, 5/7. If every minion in your deck shares a minion type, give your other minions +2/+2 wherever they are. So the fact that this gives things additional stats right away makes me think it's okay. Like it's a 1 more costing, 1 less damage bloodlust, but it also like it gives them permanent stuff and the rest of your deck. I just like too slow for what? I mean, like a lot of these are going to be too slow practically. I'm just trying to like imagine what I would do with it. Because the rest of this, like if I was going to do what do I think is going to see meta playing wild, it would be like 5 cards, and I would knock it out in like a, the 5 best cards for the Lost City of Ungoro video, and just talk about their applications. So I'm going to consider all of these as if they were playable, and imagine a world, like a deck that I would use it in. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to be Murlocs, right? Because what else is going to only run this type of thing? Only going to run 1 tribe and also be slow enough that you would want to play this, because I think the new Murloc quest is slow. So it could play this if it was willing to run only Murlocs otherwise. Even Shaman? If every minion in your deck shares a minion type. So we'd have to cut Thing from Below? I don't think we're cutting Thing from Below. Alright. So Elise the Navigator. Oh my goodness, that's a ton of stuff. Should I give the? Do you guys want my 1 to 3? So 1 is this is completely unplayable. 2 is it's the type of thing that would show up in a marshy deck sometimes, and 3 is it's going to be a good card. All right, so that's my 1, 2, 3. So this is a 2. This is a 2. This is a 2. I don't know. Like none of these are so awful that I couldn't play them for content, right? Like they're fine. They do something. If I build a deck with them in mind, they could, be a strong play. But yeah. 2 every card. No, there's plenty of stuff that like is just awful. I don't know. But yeah, I mean a lot of it's gonna be 2s. I'm not gonna like see, that's why the star system is so awkward, right? Because like so few of these cards are gonna be like big, wild, game-changing cards. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not even going to worry about it. You know what, chat? I'm just going to talk about it like I like to do and not worry about the stars. You guys can imagine the stars yourselves, all right? So if your deck started with 10 cards of different costs, craft a custom location. So 4 mana, 3, 5. So it'll be either a 1, 5, or 10, kind of like Kazakis. So it's either dealing damage to all enemies on a death rattle. It's the location. And they all have 3 durability. So 10 damage to all enemies, 5, 3. All pretty good for their cost. Except that it's 3 durability. 12 armor. So this is on use, right? So this is death rattle, do this. This would be on use. So it's 12 every time you crack it. 6 every time you crack it. 3 every time you crack it. That's probably pretty good, because that's 9 or 18 or 36 armor. That's not bad. You can summon 6/2/1s, 3/2/1s, or 1/2/1. Summon a 10/10 copy of a friendly minion. Is this targeted? Discover a spell. It costs an amount less. Next spell is plus. Oh, the next spell has spell damage. It's like Kazakis, where you can't really guarantee that. It's like Kazakis, where you can't really guarantee what you're getting, right? So building for the spell damage isn't going to be too good. Give your characters +4 attack this turn? That's pretty good. Interesting. So your deck has to start with 10 cards of different costs. Very few, so like Hunter would have a 0, Rogue would have a 0. If we're talking about like Reno, Renathal piles, what is going to have a 0, and the 0 is not going to be stupid? Priest and Warlock have Raised Dead. So some classes can start at 0. Okay, so we can start at 0. And Ceaseless Expanse is 125, so you don't have to go up all the way to 9. You can stop at 8. Yeah, this is fine. A lot of cards would play this. I mean, a lot of them would play this, and even having to go up to 9, or even 10. I think some Reno Renathal piles would just play this, right? So yeah, I think this is, like that's a card that's going to see play, I think, in Wild. Just because like people like to pretend that Wild isn't in a place where you can run just a spaghetti deck, but you can. You can, like, Wild does go to 9 or 10 all the time, depending on how you've built your deck. And yeah, I don't know, that seems perfectly fine in a lot of those decks. You don't even have to run like extra card cost just because. All right, so Torga, draw a Kindred card and another card that activates it. 4 mana, 2/7 Beast. Would this be too good if it had Taunt for Standard? Draw a Kindred card and another card that activates it. I wonder if the... Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye on the Kindred cards as we go through. We're going to have to keep this in mind, because, like, if a Kindred card is good in Wild, like really important to a Wild deck in the future, I could see running Torga to, like, get the Kindred card and the thing that activates it, especially if the Kindred card is an undead or a beast, right? So, like, if you need to have played an undead or a beast on the previous turn, then playing Torga just gets you there. So, yeah, especially, like, again, in a pile deck, I could totally see it depending on the quality of the Kindred card. So, we'll think about that when we get to it. Ravenous Devilsaur, 7 mana, 3/3, Battlecry, destroy a minion, Kindred, gain its stats. I mean, it's probably a bit too fair. I think this is probably great for Standard, but, like, maybe, no, but maybe if Harpoon Gun's still discounted 3, I could see it, but yes, this is a very good arena card. Is that going to be the commentary all the way through it? Like, chat is just going to say trash an arena card. You guys are so interesting. Anyways, but yes, I don't think this is going to be great. Stormbrewer, 5 mana, 3/6 elemental. When this attacks, deal 3 damage to the target first. Kindred, gain rush. How many elementals does Shaman play these days? I think this actually isn't that bad, but I think there's a lot of stuff like this that's also, like, not that bad, that you, like, doesn't really get played that much. So there's the thing that deals 3 damage to 3 targets, and then there's the thing that Spammy Arcanist, like, are all just kind of similar things to this, and this requires you to have played an elemental beforehand. So I think if there was a Renathal deck that ran a lot of elementals naturally, it could consider this. Like, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's kind of interesting, but it would have, it's not, like, strong enough that you're going to go out of your way to build for this. I think it would have to already be running enough elementals and already be the type of deck that would want to play something like that. So then we have Crystal Tendies. So 2 mana, 2/2, tradable. Gain empty mana crystals until both players have the same amount of mana. Honestly, I could see it in Wild, frankly. Like, it's going to end up in people's ETCs for sure, but it's also tradable, right? So, like, when the Druid population is enough, you just get to catch up immediately. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a staple, but like even if it's bad, I think it's gonna get played because people love to tech, right? So like, you know, like Kingsbane hasn't been played in upwards of 10,000 years, and people still have Sticky Finger in their ETC. So Druid is much more around than Kingsbane is, and this is just overall just way better than Sticky Finger. So it's interesting in the Guff mirror. Does it go past your limit if you haven't undone it? Like if your opponent has already played Guff and you haven't, and they get to 15, can you play this and catch up? Because I mean, like I don't think that affects it as far as like whether or not you'd play it. So who knows? But it's interesting. So I mean, this card will get played whether it's good or not. Is my opinion of it. Tortolan Storyteller, 2 for 1/2. At the end of your turn, give +1/+1 to each friendly minion of a different type. Cute Warrior, Menagerie Warrior. I mean, this is at least like funny off-meta aggro deck playable, but it's probably just straight up fine in some things. No tribe, Sag. It's true. It's true. But the Menagerie payoffs typically don't have one. This seems too fair. It's so cheap though. And you can like play it alongside 3 0-cost 1/1s. I think it could be okay. Like I'm optimistic about it. It might. I don't think it's gonna like make huge waves in Wild, but I think it's playable. Ancient Raptor, 2 for 2/1 beast. Battlecry. Choose to gain +3 attack, Divine Shield, or Death Rattle. Summon 2 1/1 plants. I'm sad they didn't bring back Adapt more. There's one quest that references Adapt, but like, you know, I don't know. So 2 for 5/1 beast, 2 for 2/1 Divine Shield, or 2 for 2/1 Death Rattles. Honestly, I think this is decent. Like if we're playing Beast Hunter, I think this is either like really good tempo with either the Divine Shield or the Death Rattles early, depending on what you're trying to do. Or if you're trying to kill them with a Rhino, you choose the attack option. Why would you ever choose the Death Rattle? Because it's lots of stats? I don't know. I think the Death Rattle is probably better than the Divine Shield in certain spots. No Wind Fury, if only. So I don't know. I think this will be about as good as Beast Hunter is. Like, I don't know that this is a shoe-in from now until the end of time, but I would probably play it. Then we have Ancient Potato. So 4 mana, 4/4 beast, Battlecry. Choose to gain stealth until your next turn, elusive, or Wind Fury. Okay, so they're just like spreading the adapts over a few minions here. So you choose to gain stealth until your next turn. Oh, you thought it was +3 attack and Divine Shield? Yeah, then that would be a really good card. Yeah, for sure. So it could be a 4 for 4/4 with stealth until next turn. Bad. It could be a 4 for 4/4 elusive. That's bad. 4 for 4/4 Wind Fury. That's like half. It's bad. It's bad. This one has no upside. Then we have Cloud Serpent. 4 for 4/3 Battlecry. Get a copy of another elemental or dragon in your hand. There's a warrior card that already does this, right? Aren't there 2? Like that, whatever that shredder guy is. I think there's one that does specifically Dragon, Pirate, Murloc or something, and the other one does one of each type. Is that it? Quest copy? So this copy's a quest? I guess we'll have to keep it in mind for the future, but like, so outside of Warrior, Vroon is each type. You're talking about more recent Vroon, right? Aren't there 2? And the older one is more specific? Isn't the original one just dragons? The original one is just dragons, and the newer one is one of each type, right? For Vroon? Something like that. How good do I think this is? What's an elemental or a dragon I'd want multiple of? Corset Alex. So in Druid, you could get additional Corset Alexes. and play them on your brand kill turn, but then just play original Alex and get there anyway. I don't know. Sleet Skaters. Yeah, it messes up your messaging, but maybe. Interesting. I think this is something I'll keep in mind as we go through the set, but like, it's got some potential. So then we have Dissolving Ooze. It's a 3/3/3. Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion, spit out the bones of its attack and health into your hand. Spit out the bones of its attack and health into your hand. Do we know? What is this talking about? Like, why would I want that? Destroy a friendly minion, spit out the bones of its attack and health into your hand. How does it work? Like, do the bones cost 3 still? Hand buff? Oh, you're getting the stats on your minions in your hand. It's like add the stats of it to the minions in your hand. Is that what it is? Guys, stop telling me about people making OTKs. Just tell me how it freaking works. All right? It's a spell? Oh, how much does the spell cost? It's a 2 mana spell. It's always 2 mana? Oh, okay. Cool. Interesting. Do we already have this card? Is this one of the cards that we got in the event? Did I complete the event? It's still ongoing, right? All right. How good do I think this is? Well, I haven't heard of it, and we already have access to it, so can't be that good. See, what we really want is something to have charge and Wind Fury. Then we could destroy a giant with this and use that spell on something that can go face. You could do something with this for sure. It's something. All right. 3/3/2 Murloc. Battlecry. Your next Kindred triggers twice. What was the Kindred we already saw? All right. So yeah, not yet. Get double rush. Perfect. We'll keep an eye on that. So Battlecry, your next Kindred triggers twice. We'll keep an eye on the Kindreds, okay? We can tutor them. We can make them trigger twice. Stranglevine, 3/3/2. Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion a random... Give a random friendly minion a random bonus effect and this Death Rattle. Okay, so as long as you keep having minions... the adaptation keeps going. Like, bonus effect is adapt, right? It's just kind of the evergreen version of that. So I guess that's why they're doing this. I don't know. It's cute. I imagine it could be okay in standard. I don't think it's anything in wild. Okay, this is the nuts, right? A literal 11 out of 10 card. All right. Actual 11 out of 10 card. Best card in the set. Chat, Ultrasaur is such a goofball. What a silly card that was. I love that they're referencing it again and like making it look small compared to the Ultra Gigasaur. I also love that they're just straight up releasing a vanilla minion that costs more than you can actually get to. Does this mean that for the foreseeable future there will be a way to uncap? Ysera. So as long as this is in standard, because of Ysera, you can play it. Is this power creep? It's some kind of creep. Look at its eyes. All right. I kind of quit playing after Emerald, but this expansion got me hyped. Nice. You can evolve into him. Can you? Doesn't it stop at 10 now? All right, we have Whirling Stormdrake, 9/8/8 Elemental Dragon. Rush, Wind Fury, Kindred, immune this turn. So you can get double immune from the Murloc. All right, that'll come in handy. Rush, Wind Fury, immune this turn. If it was immune until your next turn, we'd have something with that bone pile. Oh, did it, Hunum? Well, there you go. Does Kindred... happen when it's played or when it's summoned? Is this good with Astral Communion? Probably not. I think you saw better. You mentioned played. Okay. If it was summoned, then I think it would be a buff to the... I mean, it's already probably a buff to the Paladin hero power, like the imbue hero power anyway, but for standard anyway. We're never seeing this reliably in wild, but I mean, you're not going to play this from hand, I don't think. It's cool, but I think it's a little too fair. Then we have Tar Tyrant, 8 mana, 1/12 elemental, taunt and lifesteal, has +6 attack during your opponent's turn. Master Oakheart. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Chat. It's the nuts. Hey, we got the perfect Master Oakheart payoff now. Look at this thing. No elusive. Elusive would really get there. Deck of Chaos. Hadronox. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I think if this card was released, 5 years ago, it would be the nuts, but Rally. All right. 6 mana, 3/6 beast, Scalehide Kodo. It has a little potato guy on him. Battlecry, destroy the lowest attack enemy minion. Kindred, the highest attack instead. Remember in 2017 when there was just like a neutral package of really good value cards that ended up in every mid-range deck? I feel like this is a 2017 mid-range star. I think it's the nuts. But, we're not 2017 anymore, are we? You can double this. It's true, you can. Okay. We got an actual... We can you can pick the highest attack instead twice. All right. So far, none of the Kindred cards work with the Kindred doubler. What's going on? All right. So Blob of Tar we know is pretty decent in pile decks. I'm surprised this card is so solid. Crater Gator, 4 for 5/4 beast. Until the start of your next turn, the enemy hero can't be healed. I'm trying to decide if one of the aggro Renathal decks would play this. I think they just have better options. Most decks gain armor. How do they? I was thinking about this for Kingsbane, maybe? Really? I don't think I'd play it in Kingsbane. Is it in Beast Hunter? I think it's Beast Hunter or it's nothing, but it's probably nothing. It's a little expensive for what it does, I think. I think for a tech card like this, you want to play a threat and then play a little cheapy thing next to it. You know what I mean? So if this was River Croc stats, which it should be because it's a Gator, right? All Gators should be 2 for 2/3. I could definitely see this in Beast Hunter under those conditions, but it takes up a lot of your turn, I think. Primal Sabretooth, 4 for 5/3 beast, stealth. After this attacks and kills a minion, get a copy of it. Okie doke. 4 for 3/2 Murloc. Kindred, summon 2 1/1 Murlocs with Rush. Finally, we have a Kindred thing that can affect this. So you play the 3-cost Murloc on 3, obviously, and then you play this on 4, and you get 4 rushing Murlocs instead of 2. Standard power play. Is the Murloc quest is summon, right? Not play. That considered, I think this goes in the quest because it's a Murloc that summons multiple Murlocs, right? So I think it's got to be played. That's for quest paladins so they can die with their whole board full. Fair enough. All right. Willful Watcher, 4 for 4/7 taunt. Death Rattle, destroy the top 3 cards of your deck. All right. So if this was 4 for 4/7 taunt, no text, how do we feel about it? Bless Priest. Like, don't consider the Death Rattle. Just consider the card itself. Is 4 for 4/7 taunt worth playing? I don't think so. I think we're a few years too late on that. In Wild, yeah, you think so? Not in Wild? There's a 3 for 3/8 in Shaman that's always frozen, but that's always frozen. So to me, chat, this is 4 for 4/7 taunt with no text in any deck that would play it. So I'm thinking, like, maybe, like, it'll be like a Renathal pile deck, whether that's a Highlander deck or a mid-range pile, you know, whichever one. Or an aggro pile. I don't know, like the like extra large aggro is kind of taking place of mid-range and Wild. But, like, you know, it would be something with Renathal where you don't really care about your cards in your deck. In which case, destroying the top 3 cards of your deck doesn't matter. So, There's a 2/8 in Shaman for 3 that doesn't see play, Overload for 3. Why do you guys keep listing the worst cards I've ever seen and comparing it to this? This is 4 for 4/7 taunt, no downside, right? It can attack, it doesn't overload you. All it does is 4 for 4/7 taunt, right? Stop telling me about the worst taunt cards that have ever been printed and evaluate this for what it is. I don't know. I mean, like, it could be okay. How is this not better than Blabotar? Blabotar has poisonous, and Death Rattle summon another taunt and another poisonous. I think this is okay. It's interesting. I don't know that it's good enough, but it's interesting. So, Ancient Stegodon, 3 for 1/5 beast. Battlecry, choose to gain taunt or poisonous or +1/+1. So this is our final adapt, right? Adapt is 9 options. So it can be a 3 for 2/6. It can be a 3 for 1/5 poisonous, or it can be a 3 for 1/5 taunt. Freaking best card I've ever seen in my life. All right, like two of these little adapt throwbacks are full on pack filler. I didn't want these to be, like, you know, a little bit playable. Fine. Marshland Thresher, 3 for 3/3 beast. After you cast a spell, gain Divine Shield. We already have something similar to this that doesn't see play. The Adis' sister, I forget what her name is, but she's a 3/4 with no tribe that gains Divine Shield whenever you target her. This has 1 less health, a tag, and doesn't care what you're doing with your spell as long as you play a spell. So, is that better enough to be good? Unlikely in Wild. I don't really see it, but I think it's more interesting than the other card, just because it doesn't require you to target specifically this one. Like, you can play your Libram on whatever you're attacking with this turn, and it still gets Divine Shield, right? And then you can trade with it next turn, play another spell either on it or something else, and it gets Divine Shield back. So, I don't know. I don't think it's, like, definitely not going to get played, but I think it's probably not going to get played, is my opinion. Then we have Petrified Ogre, 3 for 5/5. Starts dormant. While dormant, gain +2/+2 at the start of your turn. 50% chance to wake up instead. It's, I mean, maybe in standard, but probably not. Pterodax Egg, 3 for 0/3. Death Rattle, summon a 3/3 Pterodax that steals 1 health from all other minions. Egg Hunter. This card is going to be a 2020 that never leaves your board. I think if you're running an Egg Hunter deck, like a traditional Egg Hunter deck, then this could be okay. I think it's better than other eggs. except that they cost 2. Why you're thinking of Priest? Is this good in Priest? I don't know. Relic Miner, 3 for 3/3, Battlecry, destroy the top card of your deck, discover a card of the same rarity. So how good is 3 for 3/3, discover a card? We have 3 for 2/3, discover a card and pick a 4th option if they suck. 3 for 1/3 with Poisonous, discover a spell. The other one is discover a spell too, right? This isn't seeing any play. 3 for 2/3, Taunt Reborn, has +3 attack while damaged. Taunt Reborn. Interesting. This is the first good Reborn minion that Paladin has had access to since Reborn became Evergreen. Chat, this whole time I've been waiting for the Making Mummies support, right? Like, the reason Making Mummies is hot garbage is because you have to run hot garbage. This is actually half decent. This is like a decent upgrade for Making Mummies. Is it gonna make Making Mummies suddenly amazing? No, but like it's taken this long since March of the Lich King for Paladin to get an upgrade to its Reborn pool. That's so funny. I was thinking of the Priest that equals attack to health. Undercover Rager. This is a Rager once it's reborn. Curious Explorer, 2 for 3/5, Death Rattle, reduce the cost of a minion in your opponent's hand by 2. So it's a 2 for 3/5. Huh. Hey, a 2 for 3/5 is not bad. That is just fine. What would play this? So in Wild, it would be some Undertaker deck. Like if I'm gonna build for Undertaker, I would 100% play this, right? It's kind of nutty. But yeah, I don't like if you don't have Undertaker synergy. I don't know that you're gonna play this. I think it's like vaguely too risky. Who's Undertaker? It's the 1 for 1/2 that gets +1/+1 whenever you play a Death Rattle. This should be a pirate. Definitely see play if it was a pirate. Rock Skipper, 2 for 1/3 Murloc. Battlecry, get a 1 cost rock that deals. You just get the Excavate Rock. 2 for 1/3 that gets you an Excavate Rock. So 3 for 1/3, deal 3 damage to something. Isn't this decent? Trash? This would have been incredible with pre-nerf Sonya. Oh, because you get additional rocks. Step it in Rogue. I mean, that's like such a modest use of step. How did it get that rock all the way from the Badlands? Good question. I don't know. I think this is definitely fine in Standard. I'm not sure what to think of it in Wild. I think it could be okay. I think a deck like I think I will not be surprised if this pops up in something. Like this could almost be a Renathal pile card. Like you just play it on 2 and then use the 3 damage whenever it's convenient to you. Like, I don't know. Questing Assistant, 2 for 3/2. If you played a quest this game, deal 2 damage. So, okay. First of all, do quest lines count as quests? They do, right? Yeah. I like that it's if you played a quest this game, so after you've completed your quest, it doesn't become stupid like the other ones do. But what quest wants a Merc Spark Eel? That sees play right now. Demon Seed doesn't need a Merc Spark Eel. Quest Mage doesn't need a Merc Spark Eel. Nothing needs a Merc Spark Eel, right? It's too bad because I think this is really neat, but it doesn't do enough. It can target face, therefore broken in the Demon Seed. Fair enough, fair enough. All right, then we okay. Everyone who says this card is cute is lying to me. You guys are literally lying to me. This is horrifying. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen. OMG, a Marshy sleepy time for me, but good to see you. Hey Ash, good to see you. It's cute as heck. Literal, like, what are you guys? I've never been so gaslit by a community. I know that this is Jar Jar Binks, chat. All right, come on. This is horrifying. Yes, thank you. Okay, so this is a 1-for-1-2 beast. All right, it's a beast, which I didn't really process before, but you know, this is a really good card. This is it gets nerfed not because it's too good, but because it's good enough to see play in every deck good, you know. Like all the cards like Miracle Salesman tend to get nerfed because like too many decks run them because they're just solid in too many things. So yeah, I mean, like, it's just really good, right? Like, obviously, for something like Discard Warlock, this is just a shoo-in. Like, it's super good in Discard Warlock. But, you know, it's either good tempo early because it's an early play, or later on, it's, like, full-on draws you a card because you have the mana to spend it. I don't know. This is really, really, really good. Also, if you're stepping it, right, you will never discard the first card you draw. Pretty good. Probably pretty good with a web spinner. Probably pretty good with lots of things. I don't know. I think it's going to go in every deck. Like, every Renathal pile could play this. Aggro could certainly play this. It's just going to be in everything. All right, then we have Sizzling Cinder. 1-for-2/1 elemental. Death Rattle, deal 2 damage, randomly split among all enemies. Solid? I think it's solid, but you'd have to, like, I don't know. You'd have to want it for a reason more than just its own merit, wouldn't you? I mean, maybe an extra large Shadow Priest. Maybe. Please just go to the second. You don't want to see this anymore. You don't want to see this thing? Well, I'm told it's cute. Everyone told me it's cute. You don't want to look at this? This is like Flame Jugger levels of randomness deciding matches. Real. I brought that up earlier. I came to the exact same comparison. I love the card art. Like, I love it. It is good card art. I agree. Feel like you're building around Ellie's? This doesn't seem like a build around Ellie's card. Like, maybe you play it. I feel like this is you just want a solid turn 1 card. I don't know. I could see this popping up in like extra large Shadow Priest for sure. But yeah, we'll see. It is kind of leper gnoming, isn't it? It is kind of like different leper gnome, huh? The fact that you can trade this and potentially get a bit up on board makes me think it's better than leper gnome. I didn't think about it being just better or like different leper gnome. It might be worse leper gnome. Like, hitting minions, I think, is generally better with an effect like this than hitting face. But I think hitting something specifically is better than hitting either face or minions. You know what I mean? Like, you'd want this to hit just minions so that it's really good when it dies. It, like, gets you tempo advantage. And if it can hit face, I think you'd rather it always hit face, because then you know, like, it's calculated. So I'm not sure which is better, but you know, going back to Undertaker, is it like we get too many good death rattles now? Should I just start building Undertaker decks and lose all my ranks on ladder? All right. Now we're on to the real cards, chat. We're on to the class cards, and we're going to start off with a banger. All right. This is so disappointing. the only quest Death Knight has ever had. I mean, like, I'm a downer, all right? Come on. You guys know me. I'm the most negative guy. But like, come on, man. Every time Death Knight's supposed to get something cool, get something stupid. Man, these are cards that I want to play with. Anyways, so first of all, the runes are so restrictive. Why? Why does the only Death Knight quest ever printed come with runes? Upside, it's a good rune combination, right? Like 2 blood, 1 unholy is a solid rune combination. It's okay. So we can almost forgive it for that. So it's spend 18 corpses, which is doable by any DK deck that can run these runes, right? Like that's not you don't have to spend the 18 corpses into this or something. You just have to spend them, and they can. So okay, that's a very it's almost a questline priest type of reward where it's just gonna happen after a certain amount of time, right? But your reward is Tyrax the Bungus, 5 mana, 8/8 undead beast. Death Rattle is you open Terror's Bungus, it has Death Rattle resummon Tyrax. So when this dies, you get this location. The location lets you deal 4 damage 2 times. On the second time, you get Bungus again. But you have to play this, right? Like it's not like you pay you spend 15 corpses and then you get this on the field. You have to still pay the 5 mana to do an 8/8 that doesn't have rush and doesn't have taunt. So like you're paying a 5 mana 8/8 nothing, which like I think would be kind of okay, especially for standard, given that 5 mana 8/8s have seen play in the past. But like it's 2025, so like the power level is higher to where like a 5 mana 8/8 is harder to see play. But you're down a card in hand to do this, so like your starts are less consistent. Like you're just down a card all game so that you can get this later, like way later. 18 corpses is way later. And it's not a quest line, right? Which, you know, some of you I think is misguidedly think is a good thing. But you know, if this is a quest line where like, you know, the first 2 steps were, you know, gain 6 corpses and, you know, steal 3 health from your opponent or something like that, you know, at least you get some added survivability while you're going through this whole like train of getting to the terror before you summon it. So anyways, I think that this is like, I might be too wild pilled to even see this in standard, but you know, like it might be okay for standard. I don't think it's going to see play in wild other than in Marshy videos at least one time. But yeah. High Cultist Heron, 8 mana, 8/6, Battlecry, summon 2 Death Rattle minions from your deck, they kiss. So, I liked the one from Demon Hunter that I could get Mecha'thun and Myexna to be friends and, you know, win the game that way. That was funny. So, I would like this, except that, you know, what's a 10/10 with a Death Rattle that isn't Mecha'thun? I know they exist. Well, just a 10 attack Death Rattle minion. They're out there, much like the Truth. But the problem is he's on the board, right? So like it doesn't actually destroy the opponent. So I don't know. Okay, so apart from memeing with Mecha'thun, what would we expect out of a card like this? So that Stalligan, Fugan, Bungus, whatever they're called, you get 2 11/11, 2 Thaddeus if they're still in the deck. Martian is your Theorycraft, Stream, DK, Deck, Frost, Unholy, or the Quest. I'm gonna do the Quest for all the decks. Cagehead. It's a much softer deck building restriction than Demon Hunter 1, that's true. But like, to what end? You know, you can run low cost minions, not just Death Rattles. Sure. I don't know. It's nuts with Octosari. Like, what's a Death Rattle minion that does like 10 damage to the enemy hero, or I don't know, something else. What's the other octopus? But it doesn't have any tentacles up when it dies, so it wouldn't do anything. Ticking Abomination Mechathune. All right. How are we dealing 1 damage to this? But then if it happens in the wrong order, it's stupid, right? Oh, Reska? Yeah, this is interesting. It's interesting. I don't think it's going to see a lot of play, but it's interesting. I could see it popping up. All right, Reanimated Potato, 5 for 4/3, Undead Beast. Rush Lifesteal costs corpses instead of mana. I think this card would have been enough to revive even DK if it cost 4. I think that would have been really good. So this is going to get played in an extra large DK pile. And you need 5 corpses. You guys think this card is the nuts? Like, what DK deck are you playing in that this is amazing in? Like, I definitely could see it in a Renathal extra large pile as like just another card that you can play to fend off aggro, but like, you guys think it's that good? It's got 3 health, and it needs to be 5 corpses before you can play it. It's not like it's coming down on turn 1 or 2. I think this card is like incredibly overrated. I'm not saying it isn't good. I don't think it's like, oh man, 0 mana Blizzard. No, why you do this to me? No. In standard, surely, right? No. I think you have to spend 5 corpses. It doesn't come down early enough to be broken. I think it's fine. I don't know. I think it's just fine. I might like, what would be really cool as far as like a wild application, to come up with an aggro deck where you're running Stitched Bungus and this, and you use this as your activated for the Stitched Colossus, Stitched Giant. What is that thing called? The one that reduces by however many corpses you've played. Because this is probably a better activator than Corpse Bride for that type of thing. Mining Casualties gives you 4 corpses. All right. So if you have one thing die on 1, then you play Mining Casualties, and you trade off all the Mining Casualties, you can spend 100% of your corpses to play one of these. You think that's broken? Like, if you get that exact start, you get a 4/3? And like, you get a 4/3 and you lost your entire board to summon a 4/3. I'm not saying it's not good. I think it's a good card. I think it's a fine card. I think it's okay. I don't think it's broken, is what I'm saying. This card alone will make CNE valuable. I didn't think about CNE with this. But like, okay, so the problem with it in Wild is I think in Wild, they're for a tempo deck, which is I think what brings out the best of this. For a tempo deck, even DK is the big payoff. Like, we're still reliant on Gen, I think, for tempo decks for DK and Wild. So for this to have any potential of being broken, I think that's what we're looking at. I think right now, what this is it just slots into an extra large pile as a decent removal thing. So that's where I'm at. Maybe we run it in the ETC in even. I mean, I certainly would, but yeah. So, Wave of Tar. Okay, this is an interesting one. So, for 4 mana, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. Enemy minions cost 2 more next turn. This is really, really good. Reska is Frost Unholy Rite. So, we could make a double Unholy Plague, even DK, or we can make a Rainbow DK and run this in even. Pretty solid. How do I feel about it for extra large? I think double blood is really important to the extra large piles, because you get the best clears, right? Like, this is really good as a clearish disruption thing, but it's not good as a clear. You know what I mean? 4 mana for deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. is not enough on its own to get there. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna. I think it's a tough sell to get me to think that we drop a blood rune to make this happen in an extra large pile. I think it's a really strong card. I just don't think it's strong enough to carry. Like, Corpse Explosion is strong enough to carry an extra large Highlander card, Highlander DK deck. Maybe Rainbow Even DK. That's what I was saying earlier. I think this is enough to, I think, incentivize specific builds of Even DK, but I don't know that it's good enough to make us branch out of Double Blood for Renathal, Highlander, or regular. But you know what? Let's look at the rest of these cards and reevaluate that. So Cryo Sleep, 4 for deal 4 damage and draw a card. Kindred, draw another. Deal 4 damage, draw 2 cards. It's pretty solid, right? I don't think it's a pile card. I think it's a Frost DK, like original Frost DK card. I think it's pretty good. I don't know how good it is. Hard to say. I don't like. I think it would be a good card of a Frost deck, maybe an extra large Frost deck that's kind of like tempo oriented with burst damage, but not sure it's good enough to carry that. Then we have Dread Raptor, 4 for 3/4, Battlecry, draw a Death Rattle minion that costs 3 or less, Kindred, it costs 0. So this is an undead beast, so you can use undeads or beasts to activate it. Cards with the Kindred keyword get a bonus effect if you played a card of them at the same time. So I was trying to think if you could like summon a leech and it would activate this, but it doesn't. So what I like about this is in a Plague DK, we could use it to tutor out the 2 for 3/2 Plague generator. And it could be an even. But I think we'd want to come up with at least one other 2-cost Death Rattle that we'd like to play. And I don't think there is one, is there? Kindred can... like, Corpse can keep the Kindred permanently activated. That is true. I'm not really worried about activating the Kindred in the decks that I would want to play this in. I think it's pretty much going to be active most of the time. I'm just trying to think if like... because like there isn't a Frost DK deck that's getting played a lot right now, right? I don't think this is enough to carry that deck into existence. Chill Fallen Baron. Okay, so that's if we're not going even. All right, so we have a few things. We have the corpse thing. We have the 5-cost corpse thing. We have the 4-cost consecrate that makes our opponent's stuff cost 2 more. We have this now. Is it enough to get like a tempo? Like we could go 1 unholy double frost if we want to run this, or we could go double unholy 1 frost if we wanted it to be plagues. Huh. I kind of like it, actually. I kind of like it as a you know, like 5 is your top end, and you run stitched stitched whatever that thing is. The 9 mana 8/8 that gets discounted whenever you spend a corpse. That's 1 unholy, right? To play that one. And we run it as like a 5 cost as the top end of a plague DK deck. Hell yeah, is only 1 rune, right? But I'm talking about the Death Rattle. I want this to tutor, cost 2 unholy runes. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could run up something. And plus, like, if we're not going even, which is what I'm talking about right now, if we're not going even, we want to run the weapon, right? The only reason we don't run the weapon is because it costs 1. We can't run it in even decks. But in an extra large Plague DK pile deck, we could definitely run the weapon. And that costs 2 unholy runes, doesn't it? So, I don't know. I would run the whole Plague package if I was going to do this. And I'm kind of excited to. I'm actually, like hyping myself up. I'm going to try... double unholy 1 frost Plague DK probably. Paleomancy, 3 mana shadow spell, discover an undead, spend 5 corpses to keep all 3 instead. 3 mana, do nothing immediately, but get 3 cards. 3 mana, spend 5 corpses, get 3 undead. I mean, in WoW, this is too trash, right? Like, you're gonna get 3 unplayable cards most of the time. Yeah. It's almost there, though, I guess. Bone Chill Stegodon, 6 mana, 6/3, Undead Beast. Death Rattle, deals 6 damage to 3 random enemies. Nah. Reluctant Wrangler, 3 mana, 1/1, Reborn, Death Rattle. Summon a 2/2 Undead Beast with Taunt. 3 mana, Reborn. Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 Undead Beast with Taunt. I think that's a little too boring. That's cute, though. Doesn't this feel... Oh, it has Reborn. Duh. Alright, so that's better. I'm stupid. So, you actually get a ton of stats with this. I take it back. This is fine, right? This is a good minion that builds up a lot of corpses? Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty good, actually. That's great. All right. And you can get it with our friend the Raptor. So, yeah, I'm in. And we have Crypt Map. 1 mana, discover a Frost Rune card. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. That is really good. Super good. That's all I have to say about that. That was the end of the DK cards. Actually, like, you know, how often have I been this positive about a DK set? Like, I started off pretty bummers, right? Like, but then, like, we had a lot to talk about here. They actually got some really cool cards. A couple of stupids, but yeah, that's not bad. All right. One moment, please. All right, let's see if the next class can live up to the DK hype. Unleash the Colossus. For 1 mana, quest, deal exactly 2 damage to an enemy on your turn 15 times. There's so many times, chat. After you have dealt exactly 2 damage to an enemy on your turn 15 times, you get Gorobashi Bunkus. And Gorishi, sorry, my bad. Different thing. So 5 for 8/8, Battle Cry. For the rest of the game, whenever you deal exactly 2 damage, deal 2 more. Now this is a half decent effect to be in play. It is 15 to be exact. 15. Huh? What? So like, I mean, like, it's a decent effect to be active, right? Especially if you've built your deck to deal it 15 times. But I don't know. Like, it seems expensive. Like, it seems slow, rather. I don't know that we're getting there, chat. Seems a little slow. Oh my goodness, that thing is huge. It's bigger than a T-Rex. Text has written it should OTK someone the first time you play it. Yes, surely that's how it works. I do think that, like, if you can randomly pull a Hydralisk from the Zerg stuff, this is pretty nutty, right? Like, you would deal a ton of damage. I think it's slow, though. I think it's going to be tough. If this was a Hunter card, I think it would be a little bit easier to do, but I really don't see it. Like, even in Standard, I think it'll be slow, but we'll see. Then we have Entomologist Toru, 9 mana, 7/7. Battlecry, put each minion in your hand into a 0/1 jar that costs 1. break them to release the minions. Oh. Oh, no. I thought it was just you could play it. You're playing a 9 mana 7/7. You're paying 9 mana for a Battlecry minion in Demon Hunter. Alright. I don't think so. But like, then you have to play these 1 mana 0/1 jars and break, like, ugh. I don't know. I don't know, chat. I don't know. I don't think so. I think that Demon Hunter shouldn't be allowed. Like, Demon Hunter should get the rogue treatment, where if there's any minion in the class that isn't meant to be cheated out by something that costs 6 or less, it should cost 6 or less. I think that's the type of class that Demon Hunter is. When is Demon Hunter going to get to 9 mana and play this? Anyways, here's a 6 or less minion. Gorishi Wasp. 6 mana 2/8 beast. Whenever this takes damage, get a 1 cost Garashi Stinger. Garashi Stinger deals 2 damage and summons a 2/1 grub with Rush. Interesting. So in Standard, you can play this on 6 and then lose. Hey, Burnt. Its beta card form was 6 mana 6/5. This one? Is that true? Or this one? The previous one? They just decided it should be awful? See, that would be a really cool Demon Hunter card if it was a 6 mana 6/5. Yeah. I think this is like obviously going to be a really important card for Quest, Demon Hunter, and Standard, but I don't really see it in Wild. Fumigate, 2 mana fell spell, deal 3 damage to a minion and all other types of the same minion. All other minions of the same type. Deal 3 damage to a minion and all other of the same minion type. So my thoughts on this are: A, this card would have to deal 3 to be good. But also, why are we releasing a card like this in a quest, like in a set with a quest that requires you to deal 2? Like, wouldn't you rather it be 4 for deal 2 twice or something? Or something? I don't know. And we already have that in Wild, right? It's like 4 for 2 cost now, and again at the beginning of our turn deals 2 again. I think it's okay to power creep that a little bit. It's just like what I don't think a Wild Demon Hunter deck is going to play this, right? Like, this is a pile card, but you know, maybe we're getting new pile cards for Demon Hunter if it's playing. It's not a good pile card. This would be an amazing pile card, but yeah. Bug Squatcher, 4 for 5/3. Battlecry, deal 6 damage to an enemy minion with a minion type. Why is a neutral tech card in a class? What? Why is this why are they putting the neutral, like, tech hate cards in a class? Why is this in a class? This should be a neutral card. This should be a forgettable neutral card. Why is it a class card? Nah. 6 damage to an enemy minion with a minion type. Alright. 4 mana, 5/3, deal 6 damage to a minion. How good is that? No other restriction. Just if this worked on any minion. Is that a good card? 4 mana, 5/3, deal 6 damage to a minion. Probably for Standard, right? Decent. You get a 5/3 and you clear something. It's a built-in 2 for 1. So, if we assume that there is enough minion type, like that things are generally going to have minion types, this could be good, I think. But I don't know that that's true. It just seems like an odd class card. Dies to every 2 mana spell removal, but then you've cleared a minion and consumed one of their spell removals. Like, it's a 2 for 1. That's good. It would just like minion types would have to be so widespread though. Like I'm saying, I'm trying to evaluate this. If it doesn't have the minion type restriction, how good is that? And I think it would be good for standard, but I don't think there's going to be enough minions with minion types around for this to be good. I know you think you're funny with the arena thing, but I think everyone who says the arena thing is being boring. All right, so 3 for 2/2. After your hero attacks, summon a 2/1 grub with rush. So this alone activates 4 ticks of the 15 you need for the quest. And it's not bad on its own, right? Like you play it on 3 and you get to either, clear something with 4 health or 2 things with 2 health. It's not bad, right? But you like arena? That's fair. Then we have wait. Yeah, it's after your hero attacks. It's 4 out of 15. Infestation. 2 mana. Get 2 1-cost Garishi Stingers. Each one deals 2 damage and summons a 2/1 grub with rush. So you just get this card again. That was what the expensive card got you. So this is 2 for get 2 of these. That isn't bad, actually. All right. The 15 is starting to seem less daunting for standard. Maybe I'm cooling down on my criticisms of the Demon Hunter one, from the lens of standard. Reminds you of Petal Razor? Yeah, a little bit. Slithid Queen, 5 mana, 5/2 beast, rush, kindred, give your hero +5 attack this turn. Okay, these are all beasts, right? So it could be active. It's a 2019 card. Yeah, it might be a 2020, 2021 card, but not sure. Actually, I have no idea. This could be actually pretty decent, frankly. If the kindred, like in a deck where you can otherwise expect the kindred to be active, I think this could be pretty decent. Because you can like clear taunt and then allow your hero to go face, right? So yeah. Demon Hunter has an AoE that deals 2 damage twice. Yeah, it deals 2 damage this turn, and then again at the start of your turn. I mentioned that earlier. When we were talking about the 3 damage AoE. 3 mana, 2/4 beast, stealth. After this attack, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. Why are we doing beast Demon Hunter chat? Anyways, yeah. For standard, sure. Yeah, you would play this to activate the quest, right? The kindred won't be active from the bugs because they get summoned, not played. Oh, oh no. Oh, all right. So Hive map, 1 for discover a fell spell. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. That's really good. All right, so that was Demon Hunter. I'm actually I think this deck could be fun in standard. I'm actually I was really my eyes rolled back into my head twice when I saw this at first, but it could be something in standard. I'll definitely try it in standard for sure. But I don't see it in wild, obviously. This card's really good though, the Hive map, and I think this could be okay. Situationally, this could be okay, but I don't think the deck is there for either of those. And this could be all right. You like the map cards? Yeah, they're pretty good. This is the wild card. This one is the wild card that you'd play. Then we have Restore the Wild. Speaking of wild, Restore the Wild. So Druid quest, fill your board on 3 of your turns. And the reward is the Everbloom, which is a 3-cost weapon. After your hero attacks, give your minions +2/+2. Which is very good. So The quest will save wild. The thing is, I don't think this quest is... It's tough, right? I think that this gets played in a deck that runs Scales and Spreading Plague. I don't think it gets played in an aggro deck. Because, like, aggro Druid, A, needs all the cards that it can get. But you know, like, it never, like, quite feel like in its opening hand. I mean, like, it can't go -1 card on the quest, in an aggro Druid build. But then it never quite fills the board, right? It gets to like 5 or 6 early, but it doesn't really get to 7 that often. So I don't really see it from that standpoint. I think it's hard to go -1 in hand for this. The reward is really good, obviously, right? So if we're running like Scales and Flipper Friends and possibly Spreading Plague to actually like fill the board a few times in a way that's constructive, Beast Druid, though, maybe. The thing is, like, if you're playing Beast Druid and you fill the board once or twice, you've either won or you've lost after that, right? Like, you don't... I think you have to be running a passive game plan to be able to fill your board multiple times and then, you know, get the reward. So I that's just what I think. I think that this, like, you could build like an extra large control Druid deck that would play this. But like an aggro deck is either not going to fill up the board completely, or if it does fill up the board for multiple turns, you've either won or lost at that point. So that's kind of what my take on this for Wild. I don't want to write it off completely because I think it could be something. Like, I think the right combination of cards could be out there. I just don't really have faith in it. The board doesn't need to stay full. I mean, like when you play bees, it summons 4 minions, and if you have 3 already, that counts as 1 proc of your board being full. Sure. I just, like, I think that if you do that in Beast Hunter, you've already won or lost a couple. Like, if you can do that 3 times, I think you've already either won or lost, is my point. Lo the Living Legend. 7 mana 5/5 Battlecry. Your minions cost 5 this game. Wait, go back. How good is this? So this is like... This is Naga Sea Witch, huh? This is what we're doing. Naga, but worse. It's better than Naga. It costs 1 less, and you play this once, and then all of your giants cost 0 forever. How do we find it, though? Mid-range Aviana. It is kind of mid-range Aviana, right? It's like you'd still play Aviana in that deck because Aviana does the same thing. I mean, it's bad, right? I don't know, because, like, how are we finding it? Oh, Juicy Psych Melon. We could tutor it with Psych Melon, and then what? We could have our deck full of terrible giants. It's worse Astral Communion, right? Like, we could do this, or we could just play Astral Communion and win. So yeah, I guess now that I've like articulated that, I don't really see it. Cool card though. Wish it was a Barnabas. Like, I wish this was a dinosaur. Eternal Blood Petal. So it's a 4 mana 5/1 whose Death Rattle gives you a 4 mana 0/1. Like, it summons it to the board, right? You play this once and then it's just on the board forever. So that, speaking of Barnabas, you know, it is kind of like a one card Barnabas, whatever. But then you have to like activate this thing. How are we doing that? Rising Waves. We could like run the beast thing that lets you draw a card. Gift of Yashar or something, whatever that thing's called. The 2/3 taunt, tooth. Oh, we could play spammy. Play this on 4 into spammy Arcanist on 5. That's pretty hilarious. All right, I'm in. You know what, chat? I'm in. I'm in. All right. 5-star card. Best thing I've ever seen. Life cycle. 1 mana nature spell. Destroy a minion. Summon a random minion of the same cost to replace it. So this is the nutty Hadronox support we've always wanted. It's also good with 0 mana giants. No, it's not. It's not. It's whatever with those. It's good to heal one, but like, you're not gonna play a card for that. So it's a death rattle activator. Egg deck. Play this on your Umbral Owl in Treant Druid. Umbral Owl. You're gonna run a card just for that? I don't think so. This is gonna summon Ragnaros to your opponent. I'll like get you a Major Domo. But yeah, it could be an egg deck. I could see that. Egg Druid. Sounds fun. 5 mana hybridization. Draw a 1, 2, 3, and 4 cost minion. Kindred, they cost 1 less. It's a nature spell. So that Kindred is just gonna be active. 1, 2, 3, and 4 cost minion. But it costs 5. Bad? And like, okay, for a wild, bad, right? But yeah, maybe it's a decent in standard. I'm having trouble like materializing what kind of deck that would be. Can you do some spell damage OTK with this? All right. That's a good point. So, is there a 1 cost spell damage minion? Is there? I don't think so. Is there? There's a few 2 costs. There's the 3 costs is when it starts getting really good, and there are 4 costs. Like build your own Ragnaros. Is there a spell damage minion that costs 1 that Druid can play? Arena Druid, draw Spinley, Zeph, Astalor, Renathal, and Gloop. Or Floop, rather? Maybe. Too big of a tempo loss for a while. Not if they're setting up an OTK, it isn't. Yeah, the one that deals 1 damage that gives a minion spell damage. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, yeah, maybe. Maybe this is build your own Malagos, because it'll be 1, 2, and 3, right? So you play this on 5, and then you can like maybe not play the 4 cost one, and you'll have 4 spell damage already. Yeah. All right. Hatchery Helper, 3 mana, 2/5 battle cry. Okay, so first of all, I think that that's interesting. By the way, I don't think that's going to replace the current like Malagos deck that's really good, but it's interesting for sure. Hatchery Helper, 3 mana, 2/3 battle cry. Give your other minions with 2 or less attack +1, +2, and taunt. Isn't that like super good? We're building Egg Druid now. That's just happening. This is an Egg Druid card. Isn't this decent? Nerf bait. You know, on 8 you could play it with Flipper Friends. And on 10 you could play it with Scale. Interesting. I don't know what to do with this. I think it has potential though. All right, 2 for at the start of your next turn, summon 3 2/1 hatchlings. That's a good token support. That's good for the quest, possibly. Yeah, you can So quest on 1, this on 2, B's on 3, and you've met the requirement once. It's so many hoops to go through for that weapon. I don't know. And it's interesting though, maybe. Yeah, you can just curve into that, huh? So you play this on 2 and then this on 3. That's better than running the quest. Alright, trees. 5 mana nature spell. Choose a minion, summon 4 2/2 treants that attack it. In a deck that wants to play Mulch Muncher, sure. How excited would I be about this if it was a 5 mana summon 4 2/2 treants with Rush? Pretty excited, right? Like, it'd be okay. I don't know, though. The fact that they have to go die right away, I think makes me a little iffy on it. Alright, they get their own egg. 3 mana, 0/2. Death Rattle, summon 4 2/1 hatchlings. Alright, so you run the neutral egg, you run this egg, and you run the spell. That's the package for standard, the one that destroys something, and you get a new minion of that cost. So we could totally do that in Wild with our better eggs. Except this is 4 2/1s? That's not bad, actually. Alright. Maybe the quest is coming together. Maybe. And are these beasts? Oh, they're beasts. Huh. Alright. Maybe we could do Night of the Wild with the quest. Huh. Night of the Wild goes crazy here. That's what I'm thinking. That's what's got me excited. Like, maybe. The stars are aligning? Alright. Okay, so here's the thing, though, chat. I think at the end of the day, if all of this does come together, it's just going to be the exact same deck, but with no quest in it. Like, I really don't think that quest is anything. Like you could put the quest in the deck, or you could just win, right? Like, why wouldn't you just win? I think you just win. But yeah, I think this is definitely like token Beast Druid support for sure. I think we got something here. Like, we could see some wild stuff. Win or have fun. How about win and have fun, chat? They aren't mutually exclusive, chat. We can do both. We have the technology. I can do both. Maybe you fuddy-duddies can't do both. You put the quest to not dust it because you're mad you got it. Quest more fun, maybe. And like, okay, so I'm just guessing that it's not worth it. It could be worth it if it's like ridiculously easy to fill your board 3 times. Maybe it's just like the nutty value you need to actually stand a chance against an extra large deck that is stabilized. You know what I mean? Story of Bungus. Draw a minion that has 5 or more attack, give it +5 health, and gain 5 armor. This is not the story of Barnabas. All right, I've played that quest. I know what Barnabas does. This doesn't do that. It also looks stupid. Draw a minion. If it has 5 or more attack, give it +5 health and gain 5 armor. All right, what are we doing with this? Is this good in the Malagos deck? You have Dungar and Malagos that don't have 5 attack. And you really want them to stay in the deck for your Blossom anyway, so I guess not. What else? What else could it beans? Alright. If we're running... Alright, if we don't run the egg and we just run the other stuff, we could run a Night of the Wild deck and... Nah. I was just thinking like you could draw a Night of the Wild with it specifically if you took out everything that wasn't a thing. Maxie thinks this is a crazy card. Did he say what with? Like, what's good about this? I guess like maybe I'm thinking of it like it's too important to get the benefits. Because, like, if it's just that, like, tutoring a minion is strong in Druid, maybe, but, like, what deck is going to run only minions that have 5 or more attack in Druid? I don't really see it. It can draw 5/5 or 9 mana. Right, but it can also draw a 4/12, which you don't want to draw. It can also draw a 3/3, which you do want to draw. It can also draw a 3/4, which you don't want to draw ever. I know it draws any minion. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it just that it's 2 mana, tutor a minion? And we're forgetting about the rest of the text? I don't know. Maybe it's good. I'm not really seeing it, though. Because I think, like, in that Malagos deck, there are minions you straight up don't want to draw, right? There's a lot of them. All right. So Druid actually got some really spicy cards. I don't know about that last one. Maybe it's like I could see a world where it's good just because you want to play 2 mana to draw a minion, to tutor a minion in Druid. That could be something. But the token stuff was good. I think that could manifest into something. Then we have the food chain for Hunter. So 1 mana quest, play a 1/3, 5, and 7 attack beast. What is a 7 attack beast? Hold on, let me pull up card library. So over to the filters. We want minion type beast. And let's scroll through here. We want to only look at, go away filters. Nobody wants to look at you anymore. So we don't want that. We want like Hunter and neutral. So it's 1/3, 5, and 7 attack beast. Catch of the day is a 3. Alley Cat, you know, some decent ones. I'm not worried about the ones. Decent 3. Both the worms miss. Messenger misses. It's got to be catch of the day, right? That seems like the 3 attack beast in neutral, or in not neutral. This, I don't know. Haven't seen a 5 or a 7 yet. The 3, okay, there's this. It's a 5. Do you mean Corridor Sleeper? Because Corridor Creeper is a 2/5. That has 3. That one's okay. We have the Imbue one, has 5 attack. It's relevant. You can search for specific attack values, but like I need multiple attack values. This is a good card, or it used to be rather. Maybe it's not anymore. Rush Kindred. Okay, so we're gonna see some, I guess. So Kindred cost you less. That's not bad, actually. 7's good. 7 we're covered. Go down to neutral. Oh man, there's a lot of neutral beasts. So yeah, there is Corridor Sleeper. That's true. Could run the Sleeper. Cost 1. Could also run Emerald Hive Queen. So I'm like trying to skim for good 3s now. I think it's Catch of the Day and Crackling Razor Maw are the 3s I would use. We need a 5, right? We can run Mukla. Run that stupid Thresher. Ornery Tortoise. RushRoyale Viper. Yeah, not a lot of 5s. We have the Burrowing Scorpion. Oh, we can run the Crater Gator. I don't know. Seems tough. Seems tough, chat. So then we get Shiok. So Rush, Battlecry get a random 8, 6, and 4 attack beast, set their cost to 2 less. Honestly, I think this will probably be just fine in Standard. Right? Like, it's a decent value bomb. It has Rush. It's a 9/9. I think in Standard this will probably be just fine. I'm not really seeing it in Wild, though. Like, especially because the reward is to get random stuff. Random stuff in Wild is so bad. So much of it is bad. Oh, yeah, you could just imbue it. You could just imbue stuff. That's true, yeah. Imbue kind of like fiddles with all that. So maybe. All right, Neri of the Crater. 3 mana, 2/5. Whenever you play a 1-cost minion, double its stats. Whenever you cast a 1-cost spell, cast it twice. You could play this in Odd, Questline Hunter. Probably not, though. 1-cost spell, cast it twice. So you could cast the rocks twice. Like if you get a couple rocks from the Murloc thing. I'm thinking about Standard, I guess. Is there a good 1-cost spell? I'm not going to play this for tracking. Fetch. See, I'm trying to come up with burst damage. Okay, so if we go 2 rocks, this and a Streetwise Trickster on 8, we're looking at 12 damage. Yeah. Jermungers? Cup of Muscle. Oh, you can Cup of Muscle with this. But yeah, that's true. You can just Cup of Muscle to mess with the attack values too. Cup of Muscle with this actually seems ridiculous, possibly. Like, once you have a 0-cost beast, just make it ridiculous. Yeah, this is probably a great card in Standard. I don't know that it's good in Wild, but at least in Standard, this is going to be the nuts. And then, like, this could see play in Wild, frankly. Like, this, you know, maybe it's as simple as it gets run in like a Reno Highlander deck. Reno Renathal Highlander Hunter. But maybe. Awakening Tremors, yeah, you get 6 Tremors and they come down as A2s. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Interesting. All right, so yeah, this is obviously built to go with Cup of Muscles. Now that we've talked it out, this is like definitely a Cup of Muscles card. Interesting. Supreme Dynamancy, 5 mana, give +2/+2 to all beasts in your hand, deck, and battlefield. So you get 5 mana Bloodlust, and then you can lose because you paid 5 mana to do nothing. Actually, I think this is actually probably just fine, especially if you've already played the. We're gonna come across Story of Carnassa in a minute here, and I think that'll be fine with that. Like you play that on 2 or something, and then later you play this, and the rest of your deck is juiced. Like, I could see that in a Renathal deck in Wild even. I think it could be okay. You could also like play this as the top end and run Polkelt even. Maybe. I don't know. Ravasaur Matriarch, 4 mana, 5/4 beast. Kindred, deal damage equal to an enemy minion's attack to this. Wait. To an enemy minion equal to this minion's attack. That's not bad. In a full-on Beast Hunter deck, I could play this. Right? It's sad because it doesn't curve from Harpoon Gun, right? Like, you can't play Harpoon Gun and then activate this Kindred, so maybe that's a little too awkward. But getting to play this and clear something, and also it's a decent beast, it's probably a little too fair. So 4 mana, 7/5 rush. As long as you've played a beast the previous turn. Again, doesn't curve from Harpoon Gun. Is that good though? Seven, 5 rush. Meh. Quest activator. I mean, I think it's good on its own merits in standard. Like 4 for 7/5 rush is a lot of stats. It's pretty decent. But yeah, I'm not really seeing it in wild. With Harpoon Gun, it's a 2 mana 7/5 beast, but you still have to wait a turn. Like that's coming down as a rusher on well, it's coming down for 2 less mana the turn after you play Harpoon Gun on curve. Like you're never gonna play this the turn following Harpoon Gun is my point. But I mean, like it is an interesting card. It feels like standard strong. I don't know that it'll be any good in wild. A little too fair. Grazing Stegodon. At the end of your turn, gain +1 attack, even while in hand or deck. So it starts off as a 3 mana 0/5. If 6 turns pass, it's a 6/5 for 3. So on 8, when you would play this with a Rhino, it'll be an 8/5. And then if you've Harpoon Gun one of these, you can do that on 6, so it would be a 6/5. I don't know. I think it's an interesting Beast Hunter card. Man, I wish they'd reverted Harpoon Gun. I'm so sad, chat. Story of Karnasa. 2 mana, shuffle 10 1-cost 3/2 raptors into your deck. Battlecry, draw a card. I almost think this is good. Because, like, you know, if you're, again, in Beast Hunter, you know, they want 1 mana 3/2 draw a card. And you don't have to complete the quest to do it, right? You can just draw this and play it. And then you have a bunch of those in your deck. The 3/3 that draws a card that didn't start in your deck, is that that's a beast, isn't it? I don't know that that's good. It's interesting. Bonkers with Buzzard, it's true. But it's kind of like you can go off sometimes even without a Buzzard. Seems 2 minus tempo. The quest or just with the 3/3. But I don't know, it's interesting. I would try this for sure in Beast Hunter. Cower and Fear. 2 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion. The next beast you play this turn costs you less. I don't think this is a good card, but I don't think it has a home in wild, because I don't think Beast Hunter would want to play this, and I don't think extra large Reno stuff would play enough beasts for this not to just be old Dark Mom. Dino Sitter. So 2 mana, 2/3. At the end of your turn, reduce the cost of a random beast in your hand by 1. Not in wild. Can't go face. Oh, I like it even less. Not a beast, it's true. Odd Map. 1 mana, discover an odd attack beast. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. It's probably still good. Like, random minions is really bad in wild, right? But it's probably still good. I think all the maps are probably just fine in the right deck. All right, onto Mage, Forbidden Sequence. It's 1 mana. Look at all this. There's like a bunch of extra, like, you know, rulings and whatever. So discover 8 cards, reward the Origin Stone. The Origin Stone is after you discover a card, this plays the other options and you lose 1 ability. So this one is, who was that person who pointed it out in the Discord? I don't remember, but somebody pointed it out in my Discord that you can just like do absurd stuff with ETC, and that's pretty cool, right? So you can like while this is active, if your ETC is Freezing Potion and then Mask of Cthulhu and the 9 mana thing that's similar to Mask of Cthulhu, that's just 4 mana 20 damage, right? And it gets even spicier from there. Like, if you're running the Tourist, you can run the Shanty card that summons the 5/5 pirates. as one of your options, and Mr. Smite as your other option. And for all of these, I'm going to run Freezing Potion, by the way, as my activator, because like you pick the Freezing Potion with the ETC because it costs 0, so you can just play it right away and summon the OTK. So well, I mean, like with the Smite one, you could run South Sea Captain and expect to do it on 7, right? Because then you pick the South Sea Captain. It summons Smite and it summons the 5/5. So now those are 6/6s. They're 6/6s. So that's 18 damage, and the Smite deals 8 more, so it's 26, and the Captain is 3, so it's almost an OTK all to its own. So, anyways, there's a lot of cool stuff if you can do to OTK with ETC, or just like burst damage with ETC, or big value with ETC if you're running the Origin Stone. So like that took me from thinking it's stupid to thinking it's interesting. This seems like something Hostage Mage would want. It does let you get, it plays the other options, right? So you could, after you discover a card, this plays the other options. You don't actually have, okay, so with the Freezing Potion, the whole time I was thinking that you had to play the card to get the other two. But no, it just plays the other two whether you play it or not. It doesn't have to be Freezing Potion. So it can be So Crag's probably not better than South Sea Captain for the Smite one. Isn't Discover in Wild hot garbage? I'm talking about ETC. You get to pick what you discover from ETC. So like you put in Mask of Cthulhu and the 9-cost card, and it does 20 damage. And in Hostage Mage, you're using Rewind, and you're using what else? Naga, Tide Pool Student. So you're not discovering random stuff in Hostage Mage. You're discovering very specific stuff in Hostage Mage. What do you need to complete it? You need to discover 8 times. So that's probably what I think would prevent it from being a Hostage Mage card. Like discovering 8 times in Hostage Mage, I don't think you're doing that. Like reliably enough to go down a card in Hostage Mage. I don't think it needs it. I don't think it's worth adapting your deck to be able to do it more often, but I could be wrong. I don't think so. But as far as like creating a deck that wants to blow the opponent up with burst damage from the ETC, I think, this could be something in Wild for sure. There are tons of cheap Discover cards that are good in Mage, like tons of them. So many good options. So I don't think it's gonna be hard to complete this in Wild. I think chat, all of these volume up mentions just makes me think none of you actually play Hostage Mage. When you play volume up, your hand is full, right? It's like your hand is full. It's so many cards, chat. Volume up frequently just sits in your hand rotting, doing nothing, just because if you play it, you're gonna overdraw. You're only gonna be able to take 2 of the options, and you're gonna overdraw something. You're not looking to maximize your volume up with this. Anyways, like I think it could be a really cute OTK deck with ETC. I think that's like where I'm looking at it. So, anyways, what are this? It will play copies of the other 2 cards. It will not rip them from your opponent's hand for Theotar. Sir Finley, it will ignore hero powers and not consume a charge. Marut, Stonebinder. What is Marut Stonebinder? Ugh! Help. How do I get out of this? Oh, glob. Thank goodness. All right. So that's Marut. We'll discover A, B, and C. If you choose A, it will be summoned. Then a copy of B and C will be summoned. Then the original B and C will be added to your hand. You end up with A, B, and C in play, and B and C in your hand. I see. That's seems not worth it. Fulpera. We'll discover A, B, and C, and it will also show mystery choice M. Choosing the M is not a discover, and nothing will happen other than receiving the mystery choice. If you choose A, then B and C will be played, and nothing will happen with M. Interesting. All right. On to gains a random Titan ability in your hand that changes every turn. So you could actually get most of them. That's so funny. So you gain. This gains a random Titan ability in your hand that changes every turn. I see. Destroy an enemy minion. Then it gets health. Next spell costs 3. Okay, I like that it's going in order. All right. So all 3 Primus ones. All 3 Demon Hunter ones. All 3 ANR ones. Oh my goodness, this one's awful. Like, because they're meant to scale. But yeah, all 3 of the Mage ones. All 3 Amidas ones. All 3 Priest ones. All 3 Rogue ones. No, only 2. Only 2 of the Shaman ones, because the Mage doesn't have Overload. Summon 2 Infernals, send all our minions into the Twisting Nether. Interesting, so it just doesn't need the portal to be out? And yeah, so only 2 of the Sargeras ones, because you don't have any minions to summon from the portal to give extra stuff to. It still has to draw the weapon in Mage. Did Mage get a different weapon? Didn't get a weapon. They should have taken this one off too. I know that like Mage technically has weapons. It has Sphere of Sapience, it has Alaneth, it has the Big Spell Mage one, but those aren't in standard, are they? Cosmic Keyboard. That's the one that I thought was a. That's not in standard, right? That's the Big Spell Mage one. I guess it's just the Spell Mage one. And there is a Big Spell Mage one too, right? Okay, so yeah, I guess. No weapons in standard. Yeah, they should have taken this one off too. This one shouldn't have been there. Forgot about Yogg. Fill your hand with tendrils. All right, so yeah, it's got some good ones. Only a few bad ones, I guess. So I mean, like that one is only useful in wild, pretty much. Popped over from the YouTube for this. For the quest, what if you infinitize the Maxitude as a way to complete it? I imagine we would likely play that. I'm not worried about completing it in an ETC OTK deck. Okay, can run the rogue weapon. All right, fair enough. Okay, Conjured Bookmungus. Oh my goodness, what a nerd. Look at this thing. 3 mana, 2/2 elemental, Death Rattle, draw a spell, Kindred, summon a copy of this. 3 for 2/2 elementals that draw a spell. This is pretty good for Elemental Mage, actually. I think this is just straight up good for that deck. That is really good. You get 2 of them. It's going to draw you your... I was thinking of the mech discounter. Never mind. But like still, you know, you can get the fire spells that are really good in the Mage deck. I think this is just straight up good for Elemental Mage. Unearthed Artifacts. 2 mana. Summon a 2-cost minion. If you've discovered this turn, summon a random 4-cost minion instead. That is a standard card if I've ever seen one. Why nerd? You like him? I like nerds. He's just a nerd. Look at him. You can't look at him and tell me that's not a nerd. Alright. Give me a likable nerd. Give me a likable anything. Except a poop flinger. Can't be a likable poop flinger. Okay, Relic of Kings. 7 mana. Discover a spell from any class that costs 8 or more. It costs 1. So it's meant to go as this is meant to be like a big quest payoff. We don't have any of those in Wild, right? Like ETC is the big one, but we don't have any like big Mage discover cards that are like super duper good that we'd want to play to get all the things of it, do we? Pocket Dimension? What does Pocket Dimension do? Hearthstone Pocket Dimension. Discover a spell, repeat until you see one from the one for the second time. Is that good? I don't know. I feel like, is there a better one than this for wild specifically? I can't think of one. Anyways. Storage Shuffle. 3 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion, cost 0 if you discover this turn. I mean, obviously in our funny quest deck, we'd play this, right? Would this ever be like a quest line? Oh, to a minion? I'm kind of out. But I was thinking like quest line Mage could play this, and it has a lot of discover. So like, you know, it's just a free thing to get the payoff with later, but can't go face, so never mind. It's different I-Beam. It sure is. Story of the Waygate. 2 mana, reduce the cost of cards in your hand that didn't start in your deck by 1. How's that the Story of the Waygate? I don't think it is. I mean, it has vague, like, didn't start in your deck synergy, but meh. So reduce the cost of cards in your hand that didn't start in your deck by 1. Play it with Evocation. This is kind of like, okay, so this is literally just bringing back, it should have been 2 mana, taking another turn. True. This is just bringing back, you know, like APM Mage, right? Like you, Evocation, this, and Flamewaker, and hope your opponent explodes. Just like old times. Windswept Page Turner. I don't know if this was good. I think there's a chance it could be. Like 2 mana, reduce the cost of a ton of your cards in your hand. Like Mage can do stuff with that. So like it doesn't even have to be Evocation, right? You can play this to prep. Like you can have played First Flame, have played Ray of Frost, have discovered a few cards, and you know, set up a Flamewaker turn for later. It doesn't have to be Evocation. I'd rather just play New Sork and Old Sork. Not for this. Like, that has a deck. That's fine. That's just different. I don't know that I'm going to Flamewaker with that. That doesn't sound good. Is it? I guess I haven't tried. Like, if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to play Quest Mage. After you summon an elemental, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. After you summon an elemental, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. If this sticks on 4, and then you play that one that copies itself a bunch of times on 5, that's a lot of damage. It seems too expensive, but I mean, it can cost 2. Like, you can do this on 5 in the same turn, even. Like, you can play the 0 cost, reduce the cost of an elemental by 2, play this, and then the copy thing. And 5 health is a lot. This could stick. You know, like, Elemental Mage plays for tempo. And we have that new elemental that tutors all that stuff. So, like, you're gonna have the elemental discounter in your hand by the time you play this, most likely. I'm an optimist when it comes to this one. I feel like that's a lot of damage. Vault Breaker, 3 for 2/4. After you discover a card, reduce its cost by 1. And so what's funny about this one is this existed as a neutral card, and it was nerfed because it was causing too many problems in Wild. Like, every time they released a new patch, it broke. It broke the game or something like that. And so they nerfed, there was just this batch of like 5 or 6 cards, I forget how many, that they nerfed, not because they were power outliers, but because it was not worth the effort of fix the bugs caused by it literally every time they release new content, which is a very, very funny reason to nerf cards, to be honest. But so the excuse I'm going to make for this is that card was going to be in Wild until the end of time, right? Like, from now until the end of time, it was going to be in Wild. This isn't, right? Well, I mean it is, but there's a difference between having to fix something for the 2 years it spends in standard than having to fix something for as long as Hearthstone exists. You know what I mean? So, if I was going to make an excuse for them, I would say this card is probably just going to get nerfed and changed when it rotates to wild. Anyways, it could also be that whatever was causing the problems with that other card don't exist in Mage. For all I know. I don't know what I don't actually know what those problems were. For all I know, they are not Mage specific, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, after you discover a card reduces cost by 1, let's actually like talk about how good the card is. It's okay. I don't know. I'm not going to play it. You can play it. I'm not going to. It seems whatever. I mean, is it okay? Am I just like writing it off too quick? I feel like, you know, for the 3 mana 2/4, it just feels so whatever. Like in a deck where I would value all the discounts on the Discover, I'm probably playing pretty low to the ground. So I won't have the mana to play alongside this. If it was 2 mana, you would run it. Or that they just fixed the underlying issue and could revert the old card if they wanted. Could be. Scrappy Scavenger. 1 mana, 1/1, battle cry. Discover a card with cost equal to your remaining mana. Isn't this amazing with the quest? Like, it's good to activate the quest, and it's a payoff for the quest. Like, if you're in standard, you're sitting at 8 mana, you play this, and it summons 2 7-cost things. This is so good with it. At first when I read it, I was like, okay, another one of these, and then I was like, wait a second. Yeah, this is fine. Is this good in wild? No, right? Nah, maybe in the quest deck, you know, because unless we have it like super hyper efficiently finding ETC for the OTK every time. OG Rafam is one of the funnier payoffs. That's funny. Eudora is the best play because of the Embers. I do not remember what Eudora does. Insane arena card? I guess it is. All right, on to Paladin. Mage actually did get what chat. I'm like so surprised. I've been chat. I'm not gonna lie. I have been very casually paying attention to these card releases, and I was mostly focused on the quests, which I think by and large have disappointed me. Although, like, you know, as we sit with it, some of them seem a little better than I initially gave them credit for, even if it's only a little better. But like a few of these sets have actually seemed pretty decent, right? You've been too bad about the quest to look at these other cards, but yeah, like some of the other cards are actually pretty wild playable. I'm surprised. Like this, we got some like interesting wild cards. Anyways, dive to the Bungus depths. You summon 5 Murlocs. This was a repeatable quest for the first time. So you don't actually have to pay 5 mana for whatever the reward is. It just casts and then goes again. So you summon 5 Murlocs. Your reward is Murlocs you summon gain +1/+1. And at first I thought, wow, we actually found one that's pretty good in wild. But it doesn't give you like an instant aura for the rest of the game. It makes your future Murlocs come down stronger. So once you play 5 Murlocs, 5 whole Murlocs for their printed cost, right? Or for the printed stats. Then your 6 Murloc will have +1/+1. And once you've done that, 5 times, then your 11th Murloc will have +2/+2. So it's like, I think it's slow. I think there's a chance that if there is enough solid value, this deck can't run out of gas, right? I think if you can keep playing Murlocs endlessly, this deck could easily be an extra large deck killer. Like if you never ever run out of gas, if you always have more Murlocs, then I think that this could be really good. But I don't think it's in the right class for that. I think Shaman does a lot better job of refilling with Murlocs. We have Brain Gill. So I don't know. It could be, between Crystology and that's it, nothing else, that we have enough value for this. But it could be okay. Honestly, I am so on the fence. I have no idea. You could finish the Warrior quest and get Megafin. True. Howdy Fin is a thing. Howdy Fin is a thing. It's true. That would help. I'd play it. So, anyways, I think an extra large Murloc deck could be okay. I don't think it's going to be like a big meta contender, but I think it would be a Marshy video be fine. Why does Paladin always get the worst quest? I don't think this is the worst quest. I think there are plenty of worse quests than this. I think DK got the worst quest this time around. Does it need to recast every time? It auto casts. You don't have to spend any mana on it. It just does it. If it cost 5, if we had to do that every turn, no. Unless if it gave you a 5 mana 8/8 rushing Murloc, maybe with lifesteal and taunt and death rattle deal its attack damage to all enemies. Sure, that would be great. But it just recasts it. It just does it itself. You don't have to do anything. Galvadon is a great quest. The question was, why does Paladin always get the worst quest? And the implication being that this is the worst quest of this round, which is not true, which is what I was responding to. It's summon and not played, and there are good summon Murlocs. Yeah. I think the dormant one would see play in this. Anyways, Edo of the Thresh Fleet. 4 mana 2/7. While this is alive, you get a 2-cost Holy Spell that gives a minion +2/+2 and Divine Shield. There's a Paladin card that makes Holy Spells cost 1 less, or am I lying? Thaddeus. Yeah, you could Thaddeus it, it's true. You can even play this with the Thaddeus up. How are you copying it in Paladin? What's that stupid so if you had 2 of the whatchamacallums out. No, it's when you target him with it, right? He has a holy volleyball from Perils and Stupid set. It's when you target him, your least expensive spell in hand gets -1. I forget what that card's called. Anyways, moving on. This card is interesting, right? So while this is alive, you get while this is alive, I'm out. It could be a Libram Paladin card, frankly. Thaddeus, you guys can keep mentioning Thaddeus, but until you tell me how I'm cheating out Thaddeus in this class, I'm not in. Does this work like Echo? It doesn't have the Echo nerf. You could play it for 0. This has potential to be something like broken and wild, right? Because at some point we're gonna figure out how to get Thaddeus out early enough to go with this. Thaddeus with Bone Lord, all right, okay. Well, it's alive, but it's a big booty, right? I think it could be an interesting tempo card, but you have to pay 2 for this each time. So if you're not doing something like Thaddeus to let you play it a bunch, I don't know. If we're Nozdormuing, we're doing something better than this. Threshbinder's Blessing. So 5 Thresh Rider? Flesh Rider. Thresh Rider. Give a friendly minion +4/+4. Death Rattle summon a random 4-cost minion. Seems pretty fair. Don't think that's happening in Wild. 4 mana, 2/5. At the end of your turn, recast a random holy spell you cast this turn. So you play this on 4 and play this on 5. They did buff to 5 finally, right? Spike Ridge Steed. Targets this if possible, so it's not going to target the enemies. It's more interesting than Vargoth because Vargoth can target the enemy. Worse Vargoth? It's better Vargoth than Paladin. It wouldn't be as good as Vargoth in other classes, but in Paladin, yeah, it's absolutely better Vargoth. Libram Paladin support? I don't know. Spikers are out of 5. Yeah, I thought they buffed it finally. That's funny. So, like, I want to play this into Spike Ridge Steed. That sounds fun. Forgot Vargoth existed. Real. Alright, so then we have Tyrannogil, which is a Murloc beast. It's a 6 for 6/3 rush. Death Rattle summon 3/2/1 Murlocs. Give them each a random bonus effect. Am I gonna play this in... Oh my goodness, this card is so cool. I'm a little like... This is the type of thing where if they release the goofy cards at a lower quantity and frequency, I would really appreciate it. I think this card is hilarious, but they do too much goofy now. It doesn't land as well, if you know what I mean. But I love that it, like, you know, like the little splits apart, you know, like they each have their own section of it. That's cute. I think you could run this in the quest deck because it has immediate impact and it like gives you a bunch of Murlocs to trigger through. Too expensive for the Murloc. I don't think the Murloc deck is going to be good unless it's just a value pile Murloc deck. I don't think it's going to be a rush Murloc deck. I think it's going to be a steady, consistent, ominous value deck. And this would be playable in that type of deck. How will he name these Murlocs? Then we have Violent Okay, so Violet Treasure Gill I think is interesting, right? This one's interesting. I don't know that it's good, but I think it's at least interesting. I think it's something that, like, even if it isn't good in something right away, is eventually going to be really good. So it's a 2 for 1/2 Murloc. Battle Cry, cast a random spell from your deck that costs 2 or less that targets this if possible. So my first thought was Hand of Adal, but that got nerfed to +2/+1. So like when I was first thinking, like, yeah, 2 mana 3/4 draw a card, that is solid. Now it's 2 mana 3/3 draw a card, which is still like pretty good, but it's not like that at face value, right? Like it's that if you build for it specifically. So it just doesn't feel like as good a deal. Which isn't to say that we wouldn't do that if we're running Violet Treasure Gill, but it's interesting. So then I thought, you know, Crystology, right? Like you play this with Crystology. It's 2 mana 1/2 draw 2 1 attack minions from your deck. That's great. So like at least in that Murloc deck, we're playing this for sure. The only issue with this with Crystology is that it itself can be drawn with Crystology. So if you're playing this in like Libram Paladin, for example, you're muddying what you can get with your Crystology with it. So I'm not 100% confident on that one. Maybe in something like Holy Wrath Paladin if it was going to run. But even then, I think no. Because like in Holy Wrath Paladin, you want to have control over when you play your Crystology, because you might have to be like trying to get your Knight of Anointment off of the Finley. So but then, you know, Cold Feet and Rebuke, right? So this could be 2 mana Lotheb or 2 mana like minion Lotheb in a specific build, but I don't think that this goes in anything like the decks that run Rebuke and Cold Feet right now are also running things like Showdown, and you don't really want to play this and draw your Showdown with it. So, I don't know. Like Showdown is a big one. I think Showdown is a big one, preventing me from thinking that this card will see play. Because a lot of the time, like sometimes that would be fine, right? Sometimes playing this into Showdown would be fine because, you want to have Showdown out. But like in those type of decks, you're not only going to be running Showdown, so you never know when you're going to get it, if it's a good time or a bad time. And I don't think cutting Showdown is a good idea either, because Prismatic Beam is too nutty. So anyways, I don't know quite where this fits, but I think it has a lot of like build around potential. I think that this will someone said the mech spell. So you run Crystology in your mech deck and the mech spell, and then you're running this Murloc. Oh, the mechs, the draw 5 ones, and this is just another non-mech to play. I don't know. I don't see it. Like maybe. I just think the other one's better. The 3-1. Maybe this is better than that, right? So hold on. Are we actually running any 3-cost? Are we running any 3-cost spells in the mech deck? No, right? It's pretty much just Crystology and the Radar. So this is just a very marginal upgrade to mech Paladin. So marginal upgrade to a deck that's not really seeing play. It's good exactly if we're not tutoring a 3-cost. So that's why I had to sit there and think about, does it run a 3-cost? And I had to think about it because mech Paladin has not been a thing for quite a while. So that's my excuse. And by excuse, I mean valid justification. This goes right into my Equality Exodar deck. Wasn't Equality Exodar deck? I don't know. Anyways, this card is very interesting. I don't know that it goes in anything meta that because like I don't know, because of Showdown, I don't know that it goes into anything meta straight up. But it might just be the low roll of pulling out a Showdown is fine, right? Because otherwise you might be you don't really want to not have control of your Rebukes and Cold Feet either. So like I don't know that this is that good for those specifically either. So I don't know. It's an interesting card. I don't know that it's quite good enough for the average Paladin deck, but it's very interesting. 2 mana, give a minion 3 random bonus effects. Story of Galvadon. Man, if this was adapt 3 times, be nuts. Is this good? 3 random bonus effects. Divine Shield, Elusive, Lifesteal, Poisonous, Reborn, Rush, Taunt, Wind Fury. In a deck where you're like targeting things, you really don't want to give them Elusive. I wish they'd change Elusive from Shroud to Hexproof. Chat. Elusive being Shroud has been a problem with that keyword forever. Is it good if you double it with Linessa? Maybe. It can't give the same one twice, presumably. You still don't get why it's not hexproof? I don't know. For those of you who haven't played MTG, Magic has 2 types of elusive. One works exactly like elusive, and one is only elusive for your opponents targeting it. You can still target it with your stuff. Anyways, onward. Maybe this card might be good. I think it's just the elusive being in there that kind of makes it feel awkward to me. Then we have Hot Spring Glider. 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry, your next Murloc costs 2 less. That can go across turns. Makes the Tyrannosaur even better, because now you can just play this on 3 and the Tyrannosaur on 4. And then gain Kindred to gain Divine Shield. I mean, this is just solid, right? You would play this in the Murloc deck, right? Because I'm assuming the Murloc quest is just going to be a value pile. Like, good in slot Murlocs. I think this is fine. Different Clownfish. It is different Clownfish. To be fair, minions can still target elusive, right? You sure can. In your deck where you're trying to target your minions with spells, you know, the fact that your minions can still target it is extremely relevant. That's true. Ready the Fleet. I think this card is good. Ready the Fleet. 3 mana. Give +1/+2 to a friendly minion and your other minions that share a type with it. Both of the other cards like this are Shaman cards, right? Just in relation to how it works with Magic. I don't. You're true. I'm sorry for biting your head off. Right. It wasn't that bad a comment. So like this is the only one the Paladin has access to. Like all other Murloc board wide things are Shaman cards, right? This is the first Paladin one. Pretty sure. So for 3 mana, like we have the Shaman one was give everything +1/+1, and if it's a Murloc, it gets +2/+2. This is your Murlocs specifically get +1/+2. So it like the floor is higher and the ceiling is lower. I think it's just a worse version of that. But does that mean it's not good? So are we gonna play this? I don't know. I'm not playing this. Like in the Murloc Quest Paladin deck, I'm trying to just play Murlocs and let the quest buff them. I don't think I'm trying to get this to buff them, right? I don't think I would play this. Like maybe if it was flipped, maybe if it was +2/+1, but I don't think for +1/+2 I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Submerge map. So 1 mana, discover a Murloc. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. I think this is a home run. So you're gonna play it in your value pile Murloc quest deck. Would I play this in Mech Paladin? Probably not. Especially if we're not playing the Vindicator. Like maybe with Vindicator, but not with if we're switching to the Murloc. I definitely don't want to play both. Because like for every non-mech we play, radar gets worse. So like if we're running 2 Vindicators, 2 Murlocs, 2 of this on top of the 2 radars and the 2 Crystologies we're already running, that's a third of our deck isn't mechs anymore. That's too much. Yeah, this is good. So okay. Talking through all this stuff, I'm actually like way more excited for this set now. I was so thrown off by the quest being awkward that I haven't like really given the rest of the set a chance. I think I'm like kind of more excited now. On to Priest, we have Reach Equilibrium. So, quest is cast 5 holy spells and you get Life's Breath, or cast 5 shadow spells, you get Death's Touch. I should probably hurry it along. I'm going to be up here till 11. That's crazy. Today's video is definitely going to be late, chat. Now that I think about it. Anyways, so summon a copy of this. If you're holding both halves, you combine them. This is just what it's going to look like when you complete that portion of the quest, right? Like if you scroll over to the sidebar. So taunt, Battlecry, summon a copy of this is bad. 5 for Reborn, Death Rattle, deal 5 damage to a random enemy is bad as a quest reward. But when they have both, it's a 5 for 8/8, taunt, Reborn, Battlecry, summon a copy of this. Deal 5 damage to a random enemy. You guys think Paladin is a worse quest than this? Quest reward is a lot of damage with Xyrella. Yes. When the set drops, all quests will now wait if your hand is full to give you the reward. It's true. Anyways. I'm not excited about this. I don't get it, really, to be honest. It seems so awkward. Alright then. Archaeos. Archaeos Beast. 3 mana 1/6. Whenever another friendly minion attacks, set its health equal to this minion's health. So you could, you know, pop off with your pirates on 1, play a Papercraft Angel on 2, play this on 3, an extra large Shadow Priest, and then that whole board sticks until the end of time. If it wasn't cleared early. I mean, it could be like it's a win more card, right? Like it's if you have a board, it helps you keep it. But like, you know, if you play this on curve and your original things stuck, they're sticking probably. Helps against Defile. Defile hits before this, so I don't think it helps against Defile. I mean, it helps against future Defiles, I guess, but I think you're probably getting, if you're against Warlock with Defile, you've probably gotten Defiled onto. So yeah, I think this is probably an extra large Shadow Priest card. It could also be a Inner Fire card, right? Because you could Divine Spirit this, attack, wait. It's when another friendly minion attacks, so never mind, no, I don't think it's good for that. Because I was thinking you could play Confuse and just kill your opponent, but nah. Alright, this card though, 6 mana 4/7 Naga, lifesteal, cost 1 if you've played a Holy and a Shadow spell this turn. This is redonkulous. Like, I don't know. So Raise Dead is 0, Renew is 0, but it's whatever. What are we doing with this? We this is something, right? Like, it's probably a Divine Spirit Inner Fire type of card, right? Because that's the type of deck that would still run both Shadow and Holy spells. But oh yeah, we're calling it Blessed Priest now. Yeah, that's true. All right, so Blessed Priest. Just your standard combo priest, I think, would play this because it runs both. It's like, it's so good, right? Like, you just never lose to aggro ever, never, ever again. And it's like such a big body for 1, and it's so easy to complete it. I think this card's pretty good. So at least on 3, I think you can play this for 1 pretty reliably. Oftentimes on 2, because you have some 0-cost spells that you might want to play. Maybe you don't. I don't think, unless you're running Raise Dead, and then you're not really playing that on 2, right? In Inner Fire Priest, so yeah. This card's good. This quest scares you guys in Wild? You guys are messing with me. You guys are messing with me. This card's good? Play 5 Holy spells and 5 Shadow spells? And then play them both? You guys are messing with me, right? No way. This scares you in Wild? You think this is the nuts? I don't believe you. No. No. I don't believe you. I think it looks fun, but you don't think it looks good. I can't imagine it being like you're scared of this. No, you guys are tricking me. Not even if we had Radiant, no way. Like, you guys want to play that quest reward on 5 after having played 10 total spells, specifically 5 of each type, and then start resummoning this with what? It looks cool and amazing to me, 100%. Like, you guys can be excited about it, but people are saying they think this is gonna be the nuts in Wild. No way. I can in Wild. Trust you. All right, I'll trust you. All right. You come back and you gloat when that ends up being the nuts, because I scoff at the idea. All right, but I give you permission to come and gloat to me if it ends up being the nuts. Resurrect a 1, 2, and 3 cost minion. Give them Reborn. It is a shadow spell. So you can get back Patches, Parachute, Brigand, and Renathal for 5. So that's like the ultimate low roll, right? And that's not even that bad. 5 for 3 minions, but they each have Reborn. It's like decent value. I don't think you're gonna do that though, right? Like it's better rally, but it's not good enough, right? It's just whatever. Like that's not the type of value I think you're looking for. I think at this point in the game you're digging for your mind blasts and stuff. I don't think you're trying to like resummon your crappy minions. Wilted Shadow, 7 mana, 7/7 elemental lifesteal. Whenever you heal an enemy, this attacks it. So you have the bandages off of the 3 cost. You have Renew. You have the 0 cost thing that heals both players for 5. Those are the zeros. Do you have anything that can heal your opponent in multiple rounds for 1? That's what I was saying. You can do this with Akanai Priest. If you do this with an Akanai Priest card, it's not going to trigger because you didn't heal the enemy, but also it's going to damage you whenever it attacks the enemy. Discount the quest. Why do you guys keep referencing Mizaki, the mage? What are you guys talking about? Please. What? It's not Mizaki. Mizaki is a mage payoff card. Heal enemy's face to give this charge. I'm trying to think, like, is there anything that heals multiple times with one effect? That's what I'm looking for right now. That's what I'm on. So, is there anything that will heal your opponent multiple times with one effect? 2/5 that discounts a random card in your hand. Careless Crafter? Why are there multiple people in my chat? Okay, Careless Crafter, that's the bandage one. I mentioned that. What is it? What is this thing that people keep saying? Oh, you're talking Nazmani. Like everyone in my chat is calling it Mazakai. No. I don't believe you. That quest is nothing. Stop it. You come back and tell me how stupid I am when it ends up breaking wild. But until then, I don't want to hear any more about how broken the quest is. Discovering a baking soda volcano, then Theotar, then play the minion that casts a spell from their hand. All right, it's perfect. The nuts. That's what it would take for me to think this was worth it. Is something that, like, you know, heals your opponent 3 times for 1 health. You will subscribe to me just to tell me? All right, very good. I look forward to that. You won't, because it's going to be trash. It's an obviously terrible card. I'm being mean because I'd asked to not talk about it anymore. You've summoned Mean Marshal. That's what you're getting if we continue to talk about this. Summon a random 4-cost minion and give it taunt. Kindred, do it again. So if you played a shadow spell, is this a extra large shadow card? The thing is, the shadow spells in extra large shadow priest, you don't really want to be playing on 3, right? Like, Mind Blast, you certainly don't. Mind Seer, sure. Acupuncture, not unless you're playing a Fell Wing. And even then, you don't want to do that on 3. You want to do that on 1 or 2. Excuse me. But like, it's a lot of stats if you activate the Kindred. If you have Vargoth, you can do it again, sure. You also don't want to draw this out of the 2 mana guy. I do if I have another Shadow spell to play on 3. Probably. It's pretty decent. I don't know. I could see this. I could see it. I don't know for sure. If I was gonna bet either way, I'd say no, but like, I think there's a pretty decent probability this ends up being good enough. Glade Ecologist, 1 mana 2/1, Death Rattle, get a 1-cost holy spell that gives a minion +2 or -2 health. Choose a minion. If it's friendly, give it +2 health. If it's an enemy, give it -2 health. Interesting. Purifying Vines. So funny. Isn't this just good? Like, this just seems solid. You run this in Extra Large Shadow Priest, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, 1 mana 2/1, aggressively statted 1-drop that gives you a way to kind of like stay on board. Now you can get past Indestructible. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe. Hard to say for sure, but maybe. The bandages on what you call them, are they holy? No, they're not. I was thinking, like, could you run enough minions that give you a holy spell that you could play the Naga in Extra Large Shadow Priest, but I don't think so. All right, chat. What do you think? I want to see. Do you guys think it's broken or do you think it's unplayable? I think it's one of those two things. You tell me. What do you guys think? We got 1 for busted. No. Don't tell me about Imbue. Don't tell me about you. Running this in your deck. We're talking about putting this in the deck. Is it busted or unplayable? It would be good for 1 mana. It would be good for 1 mana. It'd be good for 5 mana. Twilight Seeker and Twilight What's-Her-Face. What's Twilight What's-Her-Face? Sets the top card to 1. Sharp-Eyed Seer doesn't put it on the top, though, does it? Doesn't it just draw it? But anyways, this is not good, I don't think. It just costs too much. I think even at 6, it could be okay. Because, like, it's more than, well, even these days, it's not more than Reno. But it could be okay at 6. And yes, I do think that this is going to be a very frustrating card for Standard because it's in the Imbue thing. Not that, like, I don't think it's going to make or break literally every Imbue game with Priest, but, like, there's going to be a decent back and forth, and the opposing player is going to be almost in a position to win, and then the Imbue player is going to high roll this, and then that player is going to feel bad. So that's my opinion of this one. Grave Dawn, Sunbloom. There are too many interesting for wild cards. This is taking way longer than I expected it to, frankly. So I got to speed up. Grave Dawn, Sunbloom, 4 mana holy spell, draw 2 cards, Kindred, they cost you less. This costs you less. So if you played a holy spell the turn before, this is nuts. This card is so good. This card is just crazy good. This is amazing. Priest wanted this for so long. It'll be a Blessed Priest card. Then Twilight Mender, 3 mana, 3/4, Death Rattle, get a random holy and shadow spell. If it was a random holy and shadow spell that costs 3 or less or something like that, I would say that this can go into Extra Large Shadow Priest and the little the Vines one also, and we could run the Naga, but It could give you anything. It could even give you a boat, and boats are expensive. So, no, it's not good. Priest again, pretty good set. Terrible quest, awful quest, embarrassing quest, but pretty good set. For Rogue, we have Lie in Wait. So it's the quest, shuffle cards into your deck 5 times. So this is shuffle 5 times, not shuffle 5 cards. That's important. Because like cards like Gear Shift, if they shuffle more than, like if it was the amount of cards you shuffled, you could get this completed pretty quick. But it's shuffle 5 times. So you need Gear Shift and Secret Passage and more. But the reward is a hero card, so you become Master Bungus. And your battle cry is to summon 2 3/3 ninjas with stealth. And then your ninjas now shuffle back into your deck when they die. So your cards that create ninjas make more ninjas. Its hero power is draw 2 cards that didn't start in your deck. I led with Gear Shift. You guys aren't listening. It was the first card I mentioned. So you draw 2 cards that didn't start in your deck. So it puts the 2 ninjas in right away. You got that. And then whatever else you want to put in. So this is not quest support, but we'll find more. There's more stuff that goes with this. Does tradable work? No, because that card started in your deck. Opu the Unseen, 6 mana, 6/4, Battlecry combo, and Death Rattle, cast Fan of Knives. I think this card is going to be really good in Standard. Because 6 mana for deal 2 damage to all enemy minions and draw 2 cards is very good. And then you have the upside of after it dies, you draw again. Is it unbelievably horrible for Wild? I don't think it's unbelievably horrible for Wild, but I don't think it's great for Wild. But it's not unbelievably horrible. I think that's exaggerating quite a bit, frankly. Because like if you were going to run a Reno pile, I think this could be okay in it. I don't think it's unbelievably horrible. But I don't really see it seeing play in Wild, to be honest. Underbrush Tracker, 7 mana, 5/5 rush. Costs 1 less for each time you've shuffled cards into your deck. So 7 times is a lot to make this cost 0. It has rush, which is good, but like Gear Shift is the only good shuffle card for Rogue, other than possibly this other 2 costs we're going to get to in a minute. And maybe, but probably not Gang Up. So like it's going to be really hard to get this close enough to be like a good card, I think. And if we're doing the shuffle thing anyway, we're getting a bunch of free 3/3s. So like I don't think we need this in a deck that's built to do it well. So like with the Tourist, by the way, you get to we'll talk about it when we get to the 2-cost spell. Anyways, I don't think that, like, even if we do manage to build a deck that could reliably get this to 0 before turn 5, I don't think we care about that. I think it's just too slow. Stenographer is definitely better. Maybe not in this deck, but like Miracle Rogue is going to be better than a deck that does this efficiently, I think. Anyways. Knockback, deal 1 damage to a minion, improve for each time you shuffle cards into your deck. And we're going to run Plunderer before we run this, I think. I don't think this is anything. Arena card? You think this is an arena card? This is an awful arena card. You need to build around this. You need to build around this so hard. This isn't an arena card. This is awful in arena. Ambush Predators. 3 mana Shadow Spell. Summon a 1/1 Spitter with Stealth and Poisonous. Kindred, do it again. Druid has a very similar card to this. It was like 5 mana for summoning 2 1/2 spiders. And like it almost got printed at 4, and they were like, this is gonna break the game. And so they nerfed it before they released it, and released it at 5, and of course it's awful. But that was the same set where they released Spreading Plague and Ultimate Infestation. And the card they were worried about was the Poison Spider card. Pretty funny. Do I think that 2 mana off the Poison Spider card is worth 1 less health and stealth, and we specifically have to play a Shadow Spell beforehand? Surely not, right? Isn't this awful? Like, maybe it's something in Standard. And like, I don't know. Now we're on to a good card. So Cultist Map, 2 mana for discover a card from your deck. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. The nuts. Straight into Miracle Rogue. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just get it right in there. Super good card. I think this card's great. Amazing card. You hate this card? I love this card. This is great. Goes in everything, yeah. Eyes in the sky. 2 mana, 2/3. Look at the 3 cards in your enemy's deck. Look at the top. Look at 3 cards in your enemy's deck. Boom. I think, like, in your enemy's deck. Has it ever said that before? Doesn't it say your opponent? It's like totally throwing me off that it says your enemies. What if me and my opponents are friends? Can I not do it? Weird. It hasn't used the enemy word this way before, right? It said opponent. Or am I tripping? Anyways, so you look at the top 3 cards of your enemy's deck, and you put one on the top. So you could bounce this a bunch of times and make sure your opponent always draws the worst card, or you could bounce something with a powerful battle cry and just kill them. Seems like a pile card. I think this is 2 mana, 2/3, do nothing. I think this is River Crocolisk. I don't want to run River Crocolisk. Why is it so swole? It's just beefy. Neferset Weaponsmith. 4 mana, 5/4, battle cry, get a random weapon for another class. Combo, give it +2 attack. I don't even think that this is good enough for standard. It might be, I guess. I don't know. I guess if you're playing Opu, then maybe this is good enough. I think it's tough to want to play a 4 mana 5/4, get a random something in Rogue. It just doesn't seem very good. Yeah, I don't know. I think probably bad. Definitely bad in Wild, right? Because like the weapons can be awful, but like if this was discover a random weapon, I would think it was decent in standard at least. Interrogation. So 2 mana, shuffle 3 3/3 ninjas with stealth into your deck that are summoned when drawn. So in addition to this, you could play Maestra, and it would allow you to run the Warlock 2-cost spell that shuffles 4 3/3s into your deck. So between the 2 of them, that's like a lot of shuffle potential. So if you're like, you just get a lot of like free stuff as you draw your deck normally. So whether or not you run the quest, and honestly, whether or not you run the tourist card, if you could just run this in Miracle Rogue, and you would just get free stuff as you try to draw through your deck. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. It could be good. It could be terrible. Which Warlock card shuffles? It's like 2 mana, shuffle 4 3/3s into your deck. I forget what it's called. It's a Warlock card. I'm pretty sure it was from Perils. I could be making it up. Am I making it up? Was it not from Perils? Was it from like Alterac? It's from Alterac. Okay, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. All right, I take it back then. It's just this one. So yeah, you can't run the tourist. I mean, like, I don't know. I think this could be good in Miracle Rogue. Could this card play a similar role to Patches in Questline Demon Hunter, like with Everything Must Go? Feel like this clogs the board in Miracle Rogue? I don't think so. I mean, it might. I think on average, no, though. I think it like gives you an additional way to the what would make me not want to run this in Miracle Rogue isn't because it would clog the board. Because if there's a bunch of 3/3s early on my board, I'm happy, right? I'm fine with that. Them pressuring, and then I can refill with the giants later. What I'm worried about is Secret Passage being scuffed because you have a bunch of these in your deck. So I don't know. I think this will, like, if you're gonna play the quest, obviously you're gonna play this. I think. But yeah, this card is gonna be very good in standard and very terrible in wild. So, 1 mana, 1/2, discover a legendary minion. I actually think could be decent in the right rogue deck. But I view the rest of this as a downside in wild, because you're gonna play this, you're gonna get 1 passable legendary minion that'll go to your hand, and then you're gonna get 2 abysmal legendary minions that are gonna go to your deck to brick you. You're gonna basically shuffle 2 Baku into your deck for later. So I think this is a pretty solid. It also like ruins your quest if you're running the quest, right? Because like you don't want to draw those legendary minions. Like the average legendary minion is going to be way more powerful. Passage shuffles at the end of your turn. That's true. Why did you say it though? The average legendary in standard is going to be way more powerful, so this is less stupid in standard, but in wild I think it makes this unplayable. So Rogue got like 1 very, very good card and some other stuff that might be interesting. Shaman, Spirit of the Mountains. So play 7 minions of unique types. That's so many. Can you even name? Like, how fast can you name the unique types? So like all Murloc, Mech, Quilboar, Dragon, Elemental, Pirate, Beast, Bungus. There's 13. So like, I don't know. That's so many of. I know that like, I know there are enough, right? I'm just saying like, 7 is a lot of unique types to ask for. I think it's a lot to ask for. What is going to reliably activate that and not be the worst I've ever seen? You don't think it's that impractical? I think so. So you have to fill your deck with tons and tons of stuff. So okay, the reward is Battlecry, adapt twice, and for the rest of the game, give minions you play those adaptations. So if you get +3 in Wind Fury, it's the nuts. If you get like elusive and 1/1s, it's terrible. The reward is bad also? I don't think so. I think the reward is just fine. Reward's great. Just it asks you to build a terrible deck. Shutter block with the reward sounds fun at least. True. You can macaw it. If you get anything other than Wind Fury, it sucks. Really? I think that, some of them are pretty good. When you finish the quest, you're dead. Yes, like I don't know. I just don't think that like. I think the ask is too awkward for the reward. Like if it was play 7 Murlocs, maybe it'd be too good. But I don't know. Sounds kind of funny with Shudderwalk. I'll try to do something with it. It just seems so awkward. I don't know. We'll see. Brahma Searstone. 3 mana, 1/5. Your elementals deal 1 extra damage. So this works with that stupid Cinder thing. Your elementals deal 1 extra damage. Is there a good like elemental that deals? I know there's a mage one that deals like 7 damage randomly split. But that would deal 8 damage randomly split, right? Is there one that like deals the damage and then repeats it for each something? It can't give rush. It's not a bonus effect. It's an adaptation. I don't know. I don't know about this. Maybe something in the set. Stagclaw. 5 mana, 3/4. It would do 2 times 7. Because spell damage is 1 extra damage, and it would not work that way. With 8 damage split. You want to deal 1 damage multiple times. You don't want to have a big damage split. But maybe, I don't know, maybe like... I'm just wording it off of consistency with spell damage. That doesn't mean that this is the same way. They do whatever. So anyways, okay. So what's an elemental that does that then? Is there one? Other than the little one, like, is there one with like a big bungus? Big damage. Like Astalor. Maybe not quite Astalor, but, you know. I know Mage has one. I just don't remember if Shaman has one. So summon 2/2/1 Sizzling Cinders. Kindred, trigger your Sizzling Cinders death rattles. Okay. Deal 2 damage to the lowest health enemy 3 times. Okay. So this that's not a wild card, I don't think. It's too expensive. This is also, well, if you can clear the enemy's, like, so say you have, I don't know how you do it. Because like you could like lightning storm and then do this with like some spell damage, but the 9 mana 9/9 guy from the last mini set, Lava Flow is crazy amounts of damage. It is, but like it has to. You need to have spell damage, and you need your opponent's board to be clear for this to go phase. Deal 3 damage, summon that many 2/1 Sizzling Cinders. That's cute. Cost 6 though, it's too much. 3 mana 2/3 beast. Draw a fire spell. Kindred. Give it +2 spell damage. Oh, draw a fire spell. Give it +2 spell damage. So it's meant to combo with the Lava Flow. Yeah, I don't think that's happening in Wild. But, you know, that would alone make it kind of worth it, right? Because then that's 12 damage if you can go face with it. Mountain Map. 1 mana. Discover a minion with a type you haven't played. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. Okay, so this makes your completion of the quest a little bit better. I actually think that quest has high potential in Standard. I think that could be pretty good. Mechanized Magma. 4 mana 2/5 elemental mech. Whenever you play a fire spell, gain stats equal to its cost. Huh. It's pretty funny. I don't know what I would do with this in Wild, but okay, so I'd timeline accelerator it. Then I could play it, and what's the 10 damage randomly, but it only hits the enemy board. That would make it a 7/10. I could do more next turn. I don't know. I don't think it's good, but it's funny. Flight of the Firehawk. 3 mana, draw 2 minions of different minion types, give them +2/+2. I think this is just kind of a Shutterwalk card, right? 3 mana, draw 2 minions and buff them. Not bad. I think it's fine in a lot of things, probably. You could probably even run... No. I got a little excited for Murloc Paladin and then remembered I was talking about Murloc Paladin and not Murloc Shaman. But if you could run this in the Murloc Paladin quest, I'd be excited about that. Oh, it is kind of a Ysera Shaman, isn't it? No, I like it less. Cinderfin, 2 mana, 1/2 elemental Murloc. Death Rattle, summon just 1 2/1 Sizzling Cinder. It's probably fine for Standard. Alright, well, Shaman seems very standard. Not too much exciting for Wild there. Warlock, coming up on the end. So escape the Underfell. Quest, play 6 temporary cards. Reward, Underfell Rift. So 6 temporary cards, and you will get... Open a rift to the Underfell, throw a card in to summon 2 random Fell Beasts once a turn. So the Fell Beasts are a 5/3, like, and it summons them, right? Yeah, it summons them, so you don't have to pay the 5. A 5/3 Rush Lifesteal, a 4/4 Charge Elusive, and a 3/5 Taunt Reborn. All of these are great. All these are great. This quest seems meme at best. I think this card is like kind of scary for standard, honestly. I feel like this card is going to be very standard good. As far as wild, I feel like, okay, so having to pay the 5 for the quest makes me like, maybe not. It's tough to say. But these minions are all 3 really good, and you get 2 of them for free every turn. Like, these are good minions. These aren't okay minions. Like, this one's okay, but these 2 are good minions, and you get at least 1 good minion and 1 pretty good minion every time. Sometimes 2 really good minions. So, like, I don't know. Any of your cards becoming summon one of these 2 or 2 of these for the rest of the game seems very good to me. I think it's more than standard fine. I think this is standard good. Like, if you complete this quest, that's like really good value for the rest of the game. And wild, I don't know. I just, like, in wild, I think we have better stuff to do, because, like, I feel like this is going to share very similar matchups with the Demon Seed as far as, like, what's strong, but Demon Seed is going to win them so much more decisively, right? Like, the value you get from this isn't going to come close to what mass production Tamsin can do for you. So I think that this, like, I think people are underappreciating this quest. I think this quest is good. I just think in wild specifically, it doesn't do anything better than we can already do in wild. Don't you have to throw cards into it after it's completed to activate it? You do. But, like, a card is worth these 2 minions, right? Tossing a card, as long as you have card draw, which, like, with 40 cards in your deck and Warlock's draw, you will have card draw for this. Like, it turns any of your cards into 0 mana, summon 2 of these for the rest of the game every turn. This is really good tempo. I don't understand why people don't think that part of the quest is good. The part of the quest that's a little awkward is playing the temporary cards, but, like, we have really good cards for that too. So anyways, I don't think this card's gonna be good in wild, simply because we have things in wild already that are just better at what this is good at. This quest is good at having ridiculous value for the rest of the game, and we have better effects for that in wild already. Like, Reno Warlock has Symphony Sargeras, and Demon Seed has Tamsin mass production. So, like, this isn't better than either of those 2 things. That's why this card isn't good in wild. But I think it'll be definitely very good in standard. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Then we have Razadir. 4 mana 7/7. Battlecry, discard a random card from your hand. Kindred, your opponent's hand instead. What do you think, chat? This card is toxic. I think this card sucks. They're asking me to play a demon or a beast before this, and, like, it's 1 random card. So if I've played it, like, at least for wild, I don't know about standard, frankly. Like, the standard might run enough demons and beasts to activate this very consistently, in which case it's 4 mana 7/7 with upside. But, like, in wild, like, Reno Warlock players are going to play this whether it's good or not. That's just true. This is the type of card that is going to get played in Reno Warlock decks, whether it's good or not. But, you know, when it's active, sometimes it's going to hit your 1 good card, but, like, it just dies to Shadow Word Death or off of Zephrys or something. Like, it's so non-threatening to me. A 1-of card that, like, if the conditions are just right, doesn't have has an upside instead of a downside. I don't know. I think it's really bad. Great, but where? What do you mean great, but where? I don't know. Like, okay, so if it was a 4 mana 7/7, always discard 1 of your opponent's cards, I think it's probably a good card. But, like, yeah, where are you running enough demons and beasts to activate this consistently on curve? Is this better Dirty Rat? You think it's better Dirty Rat? I don't think it's better Dirty Rat at all. Different, worse Ticketus? I wouldn't even compare this to Ticketus. I think the Dirty Rat comparison is better, but it's just like it's awful. Anyways, Whispering Stone, 5 mana 0/8 taunt. Death Rat will get 2 random fell spells. They cost health instead of mana. It's a card I've ever seen. Cursed Catacombs. Okay, now we have a good card. So 0 mana, fell. Discover a minion from your deck, make it temporary. So this isn't even just discover a card in your deck. This is discover a minion specifically. So you said it doesn't have an. I don't even think that's that good. Like, it's not like it doesn't have. It doesn't have potential to have a home. Like, I don't know. Like in a deck with a ton of demons and beasts, I'm playing it in an aggro deck, and in wild, I don't want like one singular tall bomb that's easy to remove to take up my whole turn. I want to go wide, and then I want to buff my going wides. You know, like I don't know. This I don't know. It seems awful to me. I'm not convinced. This is nutty though. So discover a minion from your deck, make it temporary. The fewer minions you run, the better it gets, but I think it's good in literally everything. I think this is just always good forever. This is better aquatic form to me, I think. Maybe not much better, depending, because like, you know, in a discard deck, this is the nuts, right? Like this, the best possible home for this is in a discard deck. You just like on turn 1, you're just picking. So on turn 1, you play Grave Defiler to copy a fell spell in your hand, so you get 2 of these. You play them both, and you hit the 2/5 with taunt and Silverware Golem for 3/4, and then you just have insane turn 1 tempo, right? But this, like, it picks from specifically your minions. So like, depending on how you're going to build your deck, you can also just make it so that it's much more likely to hit a playable card early. I don't know. This is just going to slot right into most Warlock decks in the same way that Aquatic Form slots into most Druid decks, I think. Plus, it has the upside of having discard Warlock synergy. You don't think you'll play with this on turn 1 or 2? You will if it's a discard Warlock deck. You will 100% will. You will draw it the turn you will play it the turn you draw it. Because if it hits Silverware Golem or the 2/5, and you will build your deck so that it likely will, it's just going to summon that right away. You don't have to pay any mana for it. Story of the Lakari, 7 mana. At the end of your turn, discard a card and fill your board with 3/2 imps. Last 3 turns. Can we cheat this out with anything? Seems okay as a top end. Interesting. Could we run it in some kind of like pile aggro Warlock deck? Probably not. I think it's a little too expensive for that. Blood Bloom. Yeah, we can just Blood Bloom it. If your hand is empty, do you think it'll still summon the imps? A yes and a no? Hard to say. I don't know. This is interesting if it'll do it regardless. I don't know. I think like I would be happy to run Blood Bloom in this as some kind of weird pile aggro deck, at least for a video. I think it's cute. Deathrot Ma, 6 mana, 2/8, taunt, Deathrot, I'll summon a Fell Beast. Bleh. Nah. Blood Petal Biome, 1 mana, discover a temporary 1-cost minion. Pretty good. So the new temporary cards are the the 0 cost card, which we can also double with Grave Defiler, and Blood Petal Biome and the Platasaur are all like really good cards that will give you temporary cards you can play. I think completing the quests could be pretty easy. Is the 2 for 3/2? What is that thing called? It gives you a temporary copy of something. It is temporary, right? Like it has the temporary keyword. Yeah, Solarium is great for the quest. Solarium. I was trying to think of like other not always played temporary cards that Wild specifically offers. So I don't know. I think completing the quest could be pretty easy. Destroy an enemy minion. Kindred, deal 2 damage to all minions. So this card, I think, is a Reno Warlock card. Yes, the miniature elemental. But the fact that you have to play the cards, like I was really high on the miniature, like when I first saw this quest, I thought it was just you had to like get temporary cards, and I was like, this is going to be the nuts. But you have to actually play them. So I'm less high on the elemental for Wild anyway. Is that thing still in standard? It is, right? Miniatures Whizbangs. So yeah, they'll probably run it in standard. But yeah, so like this to me is a Reno pile card, and there just aren't the fell spells for this in Wild. So if you could reliably Kindred this, I would say yeah, it's good, but I don't think you can. Tunnel Terror, 3 mana, 4/3 beast, death rattle, get 2 random temporary 2 cost minions. Nah. Like I'm sure you'll play that in standard. I don't think we would play it in Wild. We have better options. Spelunker, 2 mana, 2/3. Your next temporary card costs 2 less. Not sure what to think of this. What I like about this is you can play it on 2, and then you can like Solarium on 3, and then whatever of those cards was going to be clunky to play, you can play it more easily because this effect is still around. But I don't think that's worth putting it in. All right, so that was Warlock. Warlock is interesting. Got one like really, really broken card. Like discard Warlock is going to be back for sure. With that's a huge upgrade to discard Warlock specifically. But just generally, I think most Warlocks are just going to play that card because it's just good. Oh, is that no? It only hits minions. Never mind. I was going to say like, oh, is that going to make Furnace better? No. But yeah, on to Warrior. So this is my favorite card of the set. Do I think it's going to be amazing Wild? No. Do I think it's going to be great for Marshy content? Yes. I think this is a phenomenal Marshy content card. So quest, survive 10 turns. Reward, you get Spungus, the Gaze of the City. And what that does is it's a 5 for 8/8, and you get 2 random Journey to Ungoro, like the original set's quest rewards, and shuffle the rest into your deck. Odd Warrior is as back as it is. Yeah, I don't think Odd Warrior is back. I'm probably not going to play this in Odd Warrior unless viewers really, really want me to. But I'm probably just going to play it in Value Pile Warrior and enjoy it. Just always get Time Warp. Like, you know, is a deck that's built to just survive until turn 10, is it really gonna like make the most out of Time Warp right away? I don't think so. But like, you know, getting Galvadon and Time Warp on your 10th turn, that's pretty good. But it also shovels the other ones back in, so like you just get so much payoff with this. It's really fun. So anyways, yeah, so like a Marshy style deck that's just going to run a ton of Shield Shatters, Sanitizes, maybe all the Brawls, I don't know. That's just going to sit back and wait patiently for my opponent to break their keyboard and walk away because they're so bored of facing me clearing their boards every turn. You know, this is going to be a fun payoff for that. Bran into 2 Time Warps ends it. The Crystal Core synergy with all the 8/8s. Well, I mean, the Crystal Core synergy, like, you know, Crystal Core has good synergy with Nether Portal. Has good synergy with the Murlocs. Has good synergy with the Shuffle the Raptors in. I don't really care about the 8/8s with Crystal Core. I think it has more, like, tons of synergy with the Roared otherwise. So yeah, I think this is gonna be crazy fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is a marshy content machine of a quest, especially if it's not good, which I don't think it will be. Like, it's gonna be fine, which is all I need it to be. When did Queen Carnessa get rushed? Caverns of Time. Nobla the Watcher, 6 mana, 5/7. Summon copies of your damaged minions. Give the copies rush. Sudden Genesis costs 4 now, right? Or does it still cost 5? It costs 4, doesn't it? Didn't they buff it to 4? It's 4? Okay, so this is no home in Wild. Well, I guess it's give the copies rush. Genesis doesn't do that. But, I mean, like, Thaddeus Warrior doesn't care about that, does it? I don't think so. So, yeah. City Defenses, 4 mana, summon 2/06 security with Taunt. They gain +1 attack when they're damaged. Interesting. I think probably not good enough for Even Warrior. Almost assuredly. Definitely not good for other Renathal stuff, but probably could be an okay standard card. I don't know. Stonecarver, at the end of your turn, give a random friendly damaged minion +2/+2. Pretty snowbally. Oh, it can target itself, right? So you can just play this and then Inner Rage it. Story of Sulfuras. 5 mana, swap your hero power to deal 8 damage to a random enemy. After 2 uses, swap back. So this is just awful Metamorphosis. So sad. So Metamorphosis costs 1 less mana to play, 1 less mana to use, and deals most of the damage while also being targeted. This is just really bad, isn't it? I think this is worse in 2025 than the actual quest. Shellnado, 4 mana, spend up to 5 armor. For each spent, deal 1 damage to all minions. So, when I first saw this, I thought, wow, more Even Warrior support. But after it kind of set in, this is like Reckless Flurry for 1 more mana, but it doesn't clear as big of boards. So, like, Reckless Flurry, the upside of this compared to Reckless Flurry is that it only consumes 5 armor. So, like, against some boards, you only need, against a lot of boards, you only need 5 armor. So, like, it doesn't spend as much as the Reckless Flurry would. But, you know, when you Reckless Flurry, you probably have 5 or less armor most of the time. I know because I've played a lot of Reckless Flurry. And usually what happens in Odd Warrior is you had no armor because your opponent's been pressuring you down. You hero power and Reckless Flurry for 4. And you can't even do that with Shellnado. Like, you can't run this in Odd Warrior. So I think it's just worse. And, you know, we have Sanitize and Shield Shatter and Avalanche, and we have so many good clears right now. Why do we need this? Like, you know, like, if this cost 2 and dealt up to 3, I would think it was really good. But it doesn't, right? Like, 5 is a really good, like, a good break point, but nah. Apparently it does the Aftershocks thing, so a little better than Flurry, but I think Aftershocks is still better. Aftershocks is definitely still better. And, like, having the upside of potentially clearing some Death Rattle minions or whatever, I don't know that that's actually better than Reckless Flurry. But it, like, as far as hitting skipper minions, it's a little better, right? Like, if you want to use this as a, like Schmoopy was saying, like, he would consider this for Aftershocks skipper redundancy in a Armorsmith deck. That's something. But I don't think it's enough of a something. I think it's just bad. Like, I need this to cost less with a lower cap, or to not be limited to just 5 armor. Like, spend armor, like spend your armor like Corpse Explosion does, where it goes until you run out of minions to hit, or until you run out of armor to spend. 3 for 3/3. Deal 2 damage to an enemy minion. If it dies, gain 5 armor. So 3 for 3/3 deal 2 is not great in 2025, but upside of gain 5 armor, probably still really bad. I don't know. Maybe like in an Odd Warrior, I would play it. Windspeak Worm, 8 mana, 6/6 dragon. Battle Cry, deals 5 damage and gain 5 armor. Kindred costs 3 less. So I wish this was an elemental dragon. If this was an elemental dragon, I would play Lava Gorger on 4 into this on 5 and be really happy about it. It's but it's not. You need to play a dragon the previous turn. And like, did it even get another dragon? Okay, so they had a dragon set last set, Warrior did. So like, maybe standard Warrior could think about it, but I think most of the time it's just worse Tidal Revenant and Wild. Axe of the Forefathers, 3 mana 2/2. After your hero attacks, deal 1 damage to all minions. This card is really good. Give this card a Marshy out of Marshy. This card is nuts. Here's your skipper redundancy. This card is fantastic. I don't know. This card's super good. Give it an A+. Like, it's just really good into like aggro decks, right? You can clear Shadow Priest over 2 turns. You can activate your Armorsmith stuff. It just seems really solid. If you're me, you can summon some Grim Patrons. Fortify, 3 mana, gain 3 armor, deal damage equal to your armor to an enemy minion. So it's Shield Slam with the upside of also giving you a little bit of armor. Is that worth 2 extra mana on Shield Slam? Maybe, just because it's always good, right? Well, I mean, for 3 mana, Shield Slam is always good similarly, right? So like, you can just hero power and Shield Slam for 3 mana. So it's only slightly better than that. Worse Bash? It is worse Bash. I mean, like, it has a higher upside, right? Because you can clear a large minion with this. You can't clear a large minion with Bash. And I think most of the time you don't really care about the Bash going face, except when it comes to post-Odin. It's certainly an Odd Warrior card. I think this is phenomenal in Odd Warrior. Not that Odd Warrior is good. I don't know. Maybe this is okay. Man, I wish it was 2. It would be so cool if it was 2. And that's all the cards. All right. Well, Warrior had an awkward set, I think. It's got like a couple like big funnies for me and a couple cards that were almost good but just aren't. This weapon, I think, is that like their actual best card they got? Well, like, really, most classes got something really solid. So, I don't know. Pretty happy with it. I'm going to be late because I need to, for the next 2 hours, I need to play RushRoyale for my sponsor. It's my last sponsor, RushRoyale stream. But anyways, if you're just here for the card review, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Give me 30 seconds to walk around, and then I will come back and set up the RushRoyale staff. Video tonight is going to be super late. So look forward to it. Be right back. And I'm back. And I'm back. All right. So I need to do some things. Oh, there's an update. All right. A couple seconds to update. We'll fix the stuff over here in the meantime. Does your chair have the Batman symbol on it? It does. It does. All right, so RushRoyale. This is a tower defense game. So, it's a tower defense and like a little bit, you know, like card game stylish. Wow. Like you get to do a unique setup with it. Like you have like a deck that you play with. Ooh. Destroy bosses. Wow. Oops. Oh, yeah, every week you get a new faction, I guess. It does bonuses. This is the PC version, yeah. So if anyone is interested in downloading to try it out, it's free. You can download it right there, and it gets me credit. So they'll know. I had an aggro deck from last time, so the mime is nice because it can merge with anything. I'm going to show you the gameplay, just so I don't lose you guys before you've absorbed any of what's happening here. You just got back into this game? Word. You play a meteor deck? Nice. So right now I have like it's basically an aggro deck. So I have 3 like really nice beginning guys, and then the mime. So you can merge characters that are the same type of character. The mime's bonus is that it allows you to merge with anything. So it just makes combining stuff a lot easier. When the characters merge, they become a random character from your deck of the new tier. You can see that this one is the tier above my regular stuff because it's got this little oval on it. Wow. Keep rolling the archers, that's great. It's cool because I just merge and blow things up. Nice, nice. Well, this is just great. The mimes also make the priestess a little bit better because it's easier to merge the priestesses away. You don't really want priestesses, they're a support character. What's great about the priestesses is that when you merge them, you get mana, and when they come out, they give you these little mana spaces. The mana is what you use to summon your characters. But you don't really want them sitting on the board. So the mime allows you to kind of get through them a little bit easier.
Don't get out of tune.
This, by the way, the bottom is me. My opponent is this one up here. And the first person to have 3 minions pass through the gate loses. Here I can upgrade the like crit of my minions. Yeah, the bosses hit for double, it's true. Yeah, both of us are just kind of like killing them as soon as they come out. That was a really fast kill. I'm worried that my opponent is killing too fast. I'm the only one who's supposed to be killing fast. Opponent should stop it.
Wrong note.
I guess I'll start upgrading a little.
Don't get out of tune.
Opponent is a little bit slower, it looks like. I think we're doing okay, and they're in trouble. They're about to take damage. Ooh, got him. Yay, we win. The engineer is really fun early on. It's true. My first couple of streams, I played mostly engineer because I rolled him early. And I got the portal thing that lets you change, but I really like the aggro setup. It's just very consistent. Think it would like the robot deck? What's the robot deck about? Daily gifts. You just try to merge as many robots as you can. The more you merge, the more they upgrade. Oh, interesting. I probably would like that. You also, like, you get a lot of random stuff. And, like, there's so many currencies, I can't quite keep up with it. I don't know what any of them do. But, like, it's cool to constantly be getting things. Wow. They're definitely good at getting random stuff for free. The priestess is nice because you get all that extra mana, you can kind of snowball a lot earlier. Gross. Oh, we're up against Bedlam. Just gonna make everything random. I'd like to get another priestess to that, I guess. So they've got the engineer. So the engineer, you want to get a bunch of them together so that they deal extra damage.
Don't get out of tune.
Alright, so we can combine these and hopefully... Aw, man! So sad. Bedlam's gonna reshuffle everything though, actually. So maybe I shouldn't have freaked out and tried to ruin everything so much. Yeah, too many of these, that's for sure. Uh-oh. The faction buff this week is magic, is that good? I'm scared, I don't want that to go through. Die. Good. Hey, they died first. Woo, sometimes I'm like really stressing about what's happening over on my stuff, and then we just get there at the end. It's pretty good. Wow. Spin to win. Grindstone. That's not a character. Never seen that before. The Grindstone does not attack, but allows the adjacent units to inflict additional damage. If a unit is affected by several Grindstones, the effect on the Grindstone with the highest merge rank is applied. Interesting. So magic minions. So it's those two? So I guess, like, yeah, I'm not really benefiting from the thing that much. I don't know if I should waste my gold. I have a lot of gold, I guess. Alright. I have to forge, right? Hold on, we'll forge, I guess. That, I think, is not the one I have already. Yeah, I have the bow. Alright, so now, just like that, I'm out of gold. We'll learn more, though. Used to be addicted. Word. You had a lot of fun since you came back though. Nice. I think it's pretty cool. Trying to find a priestess, I guess. Here we go. Oop. That's a lot of the huntsmans. Oh, it's tribunal. So yeah, having a full board when the tribunal goes off is not great. How close are we? A minute left. Better. So we're chilling on our mana now because we don't want to like invest more mana when the tribunals. The tribunal makes everything lose a rank, and if it's a level 1, it just deletes it, so. You've gotten to 2.8 billion mana before? That's crazy sauce. Alright, so we'll refill the board as soon as it does that. Hopefully it kills it before it does it again. Cool. Bedlam's okay. Great. Oh wait, no, we can do this. Cool. Oh, damage, I see.
Oh, wrong note.
I am dying. We're supposed to auto-kill a bunch of these. We're just getting through. And we're about to lose. Hate to see it. Wow. Ba-da-ba.